And we're back.
How's it going, everybody?
We have a fucking huge fucking guest here tonight from Burin Bay, Newfoundland. Stand-up comedian, host of Tell Me More podcast, Best Con comedy tour about to start this summer across Canada. Coming in fucking hot, boys. Colin fucking Hollet. How are you, buddy?
I'm great, boys. Thanks for having me.
Fuck.
An intro.
Oh, buddy.
Thank you for being on here.
Thank you.
Burin Bay plug.
Oh, baby. Gotta throw in the Burin Bay.
Oh, yeah, man. Got to tell everybody where you're from and who need
Oh,
you.
man. When I was in Thailand and Brian brought me out to Burin Bay, I was like, he's like from Burin Bay, Newfoundland. When saying that in Bangkok, Thailand, I was like, this is perfect.
Like,
Yeah, I imagine that went over like a bag of dicks. That's so funny, man. That's wicked.
how was it growing up in Burin Bay? What's the population there?
200.
200.
200, eh?
It used to be probably a few hundred, but it's weird, right? Because then in Burin, you got the town of Burin. And then there's like all these like little coves and all those like sub districts. So it's almost like
That's
okay,
close to
it's almost
Marystown,
like
right?
It's right next to Marystown,
Okay,
essentially,
perfect,
yeah. So like think of it this way. Think of it like you got the Goulds, right? And the Goulds is detached, like it's it's its own thing, but it's
Yeah.
not. It's St. John's.
It is now, yeah,
It's
for
still
sure.
St.
Technically.
John's, right? Like it's they don't have their own. It's like that. Like Burin's like that. Burin got like a bunch of different little towns, but it's are the communities, I guess. But it's all ran through the town of Burin.
Yeah.
So I'm technically from Burin, but like Burin Bay is where it's at. Like that's where I grew up. Was right up in Burin Bay, and it was it's interesting to say. Like in some ways, growing up there was beautiful and awesome, and in other ways, it was the worst. Like because it was because like if you got a beautiful day on Burin Bay,
Yeah.
it was amazing, man. It's like Burin Bay was much like what Newfoundland is. Like when it was good, it was the best, and when it was bad, it was the fucking worst.
Yeah, man. That's the thing,
like
right?
it was.
When it's a beautiful sunny day, it's not like you see on them fucking commercials. I grant you that much.
So I'm sure you had winds and rain coming in sideways.
But what was the most frustrating thing about it? You wouldn't even mind it if it was all day. But like growing up, and because we used to play this shit ton of road hockey, and where we used to play it, like this stretch of straight road, a level road, was by my house, and we had a shed. So like, I kept everybody's hockey gear in my shed. So I had like a dozen sticks, 2 sets of goalie gear, both nets, everything were in my shed, right? Because we played right in front of my house.
Perfect.
Because right. So like that all day, every day, you're in school, just couldn't wait to get out, go play hockey. That's all that's on your mind. Go play road hockey.
Yeah.
But we're up in Burin, man, and we'd have a wicked day, man. We'd have a beautiful day. You're in school, looking out at the blue sky, and it's beautiful, right? And then you had to get the bus, and you hit the bus, and you drive up to Burin Bay. So then it's fucking 20 minutes, half hour later, whatever it was, you get to Burin Bay, and as you cut the turn to get around Black Duck Cove, you start seeing the fog. And then just as you have fucking
I know it's what
on
you're talking
Burin Bay, the thickest kind of fog, if not raining. And all day, just 10 minutes in a row where school was, beautiful day, man. Or it'd be beautiful, and even then in school, like 2 o'clock, 2:30, school get out 3 o'clock, and by 2:30, 2:45 sometimes, just to piss you right off, all of a sudden the clouds start coming in, and a beautiful day now it's raining, you couldn't do nothing. And that happened hundreds and hundreds of days, man. Like it was the worst like that. It was some fucking piss off.
I imagine, right, too, yeah.
Nothing
Right there in
worse,
that
yeah.
perfect little valley spot or whatever, right? Like where the
You
cove is right in the spot or whatever, right?
Yeah. Maybe 6 good days a year.
Yeah, same thing. Like we grew up in Bishop, so like Bishops might be okay, and then you get to the top of Norris Arm Hill there, kind of thing. That's gone mad, snowstorm or something foolish, right? Same idea, just in a certain spot.
I'm doing a show in Bishops June 8th at Knights Columbus.
Doing it tonight. Ooh,
KFC,
looked at
baby.
Jesus out down
Bishop
there,
Falls, you better fucking
get on that. We'll be fucking rocking that. That's gonna be a bunch of hard tickets. Bunch of hard tickets from there, by.
Oh, we'll be pushing that one hard. That's gonna be sold out in no time.
Yeah, thank you. I did a show. I did a show at the last year in February or March. of last year, and geez, man, packed the place, man. What a crowd came out, and it was a great laugh.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
And then they had a fella then playing music afterwards. I can't remember his name for the life of me, but he was
Dennis?
wicked.
Dennis Antle?
Probably
And,
Dennis or somebody like that. Johnny or somebody.
maybe, man.
Johnny
but he
Stone?
was a
Maybe
one-man
Johnny
show,
Stone.
boy.
Oh,
He
did
was. Yeah, what a fella, man. He was wicked. And he apparently plays anywhere but Bishops, apparently. Like, you don't, anybody's phenomenal, man, this guy.
Sounds about right, though.
Sounds about right,
That's
eh?
one of the boys from home, right? That's funny.
Yeah,
fucking
just
deadly.
rocking it.
That's funny.
So with
Yeah,
all those
so it was
rainy
great fun,
days,
so-
now, like you, did you grow up playing a lot of video games? I know we're into the video games and stuff that too. You know, like what was what was your first ever system? What was the first ever introduction?
The regular Nintendo, of course.
Oh yeah.
So I had the NES. And then the Super Nintendo came out, and I remember that like blew my fucking mind at the
Yes,
time,
man.
you know what I mean?
Man, do you remember
Like, it
fucking
was like-
Stanley Cup for that? Stanley Cup hockey, the
Oh.
3D one. So you pick up the puck
I
and the
do.
camera would spin around.
Yes.
Man,
Yes,
I thought I was living in
do.
a fucking future with that. Holy fuck,
That was-
Batman.
That was.
I
the
know.
best.
I know. You're like, this is the future.
Yes, man, I couldn't believe it. Like I was like, this is mental, man. Like I can't believe how fucking like good this looks. And now like I play it with my kid because he's getting into that or whatever. Looks like fucking two potatoes, man. Right?
Slower
Oh,
than
no.
fucking.
But it's sick though. Like I still love playing it, but it don't.
You-
It looks right silly,
You ever,
right?
you ever see those memes where it was like me playing N64 being like, my God, it's so realistic. It's just like watching TV.
Yeah.
And then below that, it's like the image, and it's just like Stone Cold
Yeah,
Steve Austin.
two
like, being like a-
squares.
like,
Just like
he's just like a refrigerator, like pure
All the-
rectangle. Like
all the
his face-
polygons,
and his
yeah.
face on a square head. Like,
yeah, literally two squares put together.
Fuck, that water looks some real there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Laura Croft, some hot
the
man.
wa-
Fucking
Laura Croft,
Yeah.
some
co-
hot man.
cone tits on her.
yeah,
Yes, sir.
she there with small pyramids for tits.
Yes, sir. Holy fucking Jesus.
That's wicked. Man.
Living in fucking 2025 here. Holy fuck.
Dude, I had a setup because my life we moved up to Beer and Bay when I was 10, so we lived like 5 minutes down the road before that in like Old Beer, they call it.
Obler.
And we so we went to Beer and Bay proper.
Mhm.
When I was 10, and there was like 2 houses in the whole town that had a rec room. Mine was one of them, and we got a ping pong table.
Oh, fuck
Oh,
yeah.
my
So-
son, buddy, man.
So
there's-
my rec room, man. So I got a paper room when I was 12.
Yeah.
And my whole mission was to just save up money to buy just buy road hockey gear and video games. That's all I wanted. That's all I was doing. So,
I want a pair of Cooper pads.
No,
man. I
yeah.
want a pair of them good Cooper
Oh
pads.
no, I need those Road Warriors by Jesus Canadian Tire.
Yeah, I remember getting air pads. You remember them?
Oh
Yes, man.
my
Oh,
God,
air
those black
pads?
rubber pads.
Black
Oh my
ones, yeah.
God.
Those
I had a pair of
black
green
rubber
ones.
pads,
I had a pair
yeah.
of light green ones.
Yeah, I had black ones because I ended up buying like a bunch of goalie gear. But I had a ping pong table, and then N64 came out. And Mom and Dad were like, you're not getting that. It's too expensive and whatever. And this is before I got a paper room.
Yeah.
And I used to get sometimes they would give me money to take to the cafeteria for food, and it would be $2.50 or $3.
Yeah.
And this is what I'm doing. I'm joking. I would say if they give me $3, I'd get like a small fries for $2, and I'd keep the $1.
Yeah.
And I just kept keeping the dollars, right? And then, so we owned a takeout, right, with an arcade.
Oh,
Yeah.
I knew you had
My
taken
dad
it.
had a midlife crisis. My dad, I was born in Ontario. My dad had a midlife crisis when I was 18 months old because he was in a traffic jam. Mom was making him stop smoking because he had no strength. This is why I grew up in Newfoundland. This very moment is why I grew up in Newfoundland, not Ontario.
Yeah.
So Mom was making Dad stop smoking. She didn't want him smoking around the kids.
Yeah.
So he was having a really hard time because my dad's an addict, right? And he's like smoking 2.5 packs a day, right?
It is like you do, right?
Nuts. And so he's going through that, and then he's in a traffic jam. I don't know if it was a car accident or construction or what was going on. There's like 40-degree heat up in Toronto,
Yes, man.
and the
Bacon
air
out.
conditioning breaks in the car,
Oh.
and he got no smokes.
Oh.
And he has a fucking meltdown. And when he gets back to the house, he goes, "That's it, going back to Newfoundland." Right? He's up there like he's got a job, a career.
Yeah.
Mom got a career. My mom loved her job. She was in a warehouse inspecting welds or some shit. Like, had a great little setup. They got a mortgage. They got cars. They had a camper and a camper park. Children. My brother's in kindergarten and school. Chilling. Like, they got fucking roots, foundation.
Wow.
You know what I mean? There's not just a single man that can just fuck off.
No.
Right? And he goes, "That's it. I'm going." I just said, he goes, "I'm going. I don't care." And she's like, "You just can't go." He's like, "I'm going. I'm going. I don't tell you. Like, figure it out. Let's go." You know. So and you can't. What are we gonna do? We get back to Newfoundland. Figure it out. Dad puts the for sale sign on the fucking house the next day and got an offer that evening.
Holy
had a
shit.
complete snap, right? Then he moved back not to St. John's, not to Buren, but to Buren Bay, Newfoundland, and opens up a takeout with an arcade and starts DJing.
No way!
Wow.
Jesus.
Did he have a DJ name? What's the DJ name? Come on.
Well, his nickname is G-Roy, and
G-Roy.
the takeout was G-Roy's Takeout, and that's
so
my
DJ
name, by the way. And even like right now, I still play games. I was playing Warzone today, and like my gamer name has always been G-Roy.
Nice.
And right, so it's just like he's probably just DJ G-Roy, I guess.
Oh fuck yeah!
But he was DJing weddings and shit.
I love it.
Good for him.
That's a good gig though.
It's not far off of what I'm at.
Right, so
to be fair with it.
So he
I mean, in arcades in the '90s, like Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh
That's
yeah.
savage,
So
in the in the '80s and '90s. I mean, that was when arcades were fucking on the peak.
Oh, buddy, arcades were. So we had three pool tables and a jukebox with like Guns N' Roses and Tom Petty and Bob Seger and all the good shit on it. We had a bunch of different. We had like Contra and like a fighting game and a few other like Space Invaders and all that, and we had 2 or 3 flipper machines, pinball machines, and the whole
savage.
Yeah, it was a wicked arcade, man. And because there was a school in Buren Bay, and what happened was Dad was like, "I'm gonna open up a fucking takeout. I'm gonna feed youngsters, and that's gonna keep me alive."
Yeah. Well, fuck, he's not wrong.
He's not wrong.
So, right. So the kids would come down on their lunch break and get a plate of fries, onion rings, cheeseburger, whatever, and then go spend whatever change they had left over. They go and spend it in the arcade and go back to class, right? So, but I grew up in the arcade, like literally in the takeout, into fucking 4, 5, 6 years old, and just fucking eating snack packs and playing video games by myself in an arcade, man. Like,
so yeah, it
so,
definitely has a.
I gotta pay.
Sorry, go ahead.
I would say like I ended up saving up my money because I wanted the N64 so bad, and my parents. The reason I was telling you about the takeout, so Mom would make me pizza. She'd make me and my brother pizza because like Mom made these wicked pizzas from the takeout, right?
Like it would.
So she'd make up large pizza, do them 8 slices, and then she'd give me she'd do it every Sunday night and every Tuesday night. So she'd make a fucking large pizza. So on Monday morning, then right, put the 2 slice, give me and my brother 2 slices of pizza each, take school for lunch.
Yeah.
And then Monday night put it in, then Tuesday boom, and then Tuesday night make another one boom, and on Fridays give us $3, $4, $5, and then we could eat something at the school cafeteria on Fridays. But the kids used to go mad at school to be like, man, be drooling over pizza. So I used to start selling my pizza slices, right? In school.
Little gangster.
Right?
Hustling pizza.
Because I was fixated on N64.
Yeah.
So what I started doing was I started selling my pizza slices. So I would sell my pizza for like $5.
Holy fuck!
Right?
Wow.
And then I would get like, and then I'd take that, then I'd take $2 or $3 of that and go get my lunch, and then I have $2 or $3 left over, and I was doing that every day.
That's sweet.
And then I got the paper route, and I was making like $30 a week on the paper route.
Yeah.
But I got the paper route after I got the console, because I was all fucking year just getting $1 a day here, $2 a day there, all fucking year, man.
Nice.
As much as I could until I got like a little over $100. And then my birthday was in October, and I got about $100 in total between all the cards and stuff I got. Anyways, come that winter, I had the $300 saved up.
Nice, yeah.
And I went and bought I remember the N64 was it was $269.99 if I'm not mistaken. But then I had to get remember that gray rectangle thing, and that was screwed into the back of the TV.
Yeah,
right?
the RF receiver thing. Yeah.
Yeah, because you could either hook it up through like a VCR with the yellow and red
Yeah.
and white thing, or you could just get the gray square
Right.
that would run right to the back of the TV, and then the cable line would go into the back of that.
Yeah.
So that was another $40 for that. So anyways, then I paid over $300 just for that, so I could get it hooked up. And then the games back then, games were $99.99.
Fucking right, man. A cheap
They
game
were-
was $89, man.
Oh,
that was on
dude.
sale. Or whatever.
Cheap game
Cheap.
was $89 back in that economy. Fucking insane.
Just think about that. And there was
So
dudes with
yeah,
like fucking 25 games, man. That's off to handle.
And people making
Right.
$6 an hour, right?
Yes, holy fuck that, man. Took you all year to save up for the
So
fucking thing.
I couldn't afford these games, right?
No, but
So I was like, man, I'm gonna be forever just trying to get a game in with this. So I started. The kid that was delivering the newspapers, I knew he was getting ready to graduate high school and he's gonna be going off to university. So like a year in advance, I was like, listen, man, I want this paper route. When you're done this, I'm the guy. Give me the paper route.
yeah.
Anyways, I ended up getting the paper route, and then that was it. Then
What was the newspaper that you
$30,
were distributing there for out there?
It was called the Southern Gazette.
The Southern
The Southern
Gazette.
Gazette.
Nice.
Yeah, what could I? Yeah.
Only reason I ask is I used to do the Herald. I used to deliver the Herald back in the old day. Yeah, I used to go around just man, and people would be like complaining about the paper route, but like the fucking hulking around a fucking pack of magazines was fucking tough on the old fucking body, man. As an
man.
8-year-old kid.
Oh man, I know. And like when I
Oh,
first
fuck.
started, I had like 30-something customers, and then I had her up to like 60.
Nice. That's savage.
Because I was,
Actually. That's good.
I was going around banging. I was going knocking on doors, cold calling all the time.
Yes, like you
Like,
would, yeah.
Just like not in the door, but like would you like to buy it? And I had my little sales pitch, my little thing that it was the paper was $1, right? Like at the very man, listen. I'm
Getting
a
a few.
fucking
Did you get a few
12-year-old
tips
boy.
too?
I don't care if you don't read it. I'm a 12-year-old boy
Yes.
trying to make a bit of money. Would you buy the paper off me, please?
Yeah.
It's $1. You can tell a 12-year-old boy you can't afford $1 a week. I can afford $1 a week.
If I just don't eat a cookie, I got $1, man. It's fine.
Yeah. I sell my
So I
pizza
know,
and get my fries, and then I could have fucking
$3.
paper all fucking the time.
Yeah, grow by newspaper enterprise.
Proper thing, man. That's
So-
wicked.
So then I was buying N64 games like savage then, man. Like I had so many games.
So for
And
you,
I-
like, what's the top
and
end
I had-
game on the N64?
Top end game N64. I seen on your Instagram. By the way, I love your Instagram. What's the word? Display maybe. Like I like when you go to your Instagram, just like how it looks, the way you have everything.
Oh, fuck.
I think it looks really good.
Fuck.
But,
Yeah, hey.
Getting a compliment.
Take it.
Look,
Take it. Thanks, buddy.
For
Yeah, that's wicked.
1985. Yeah, fuck yeah. Looks,
And the year was 1985. You heard it here, folks?
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey!
It's sharp looking, man. It looks good. It's fucking better than what I got going on. But
Oh, Jesus.
Buddy, there's a lot of fucking hours gone into this.
there's man. You can tell, man. It's a sharp looking setup you got. But no, man. WCW versus NWO Revenge. I seen that you guys posted something on that, man. That game was fucking crack cocaine for a fucking 14-year-old.
Well, that's
boy,
one of the
let me tell
GOATs
you.
wrestling games
That's a
of all
goat.
time.
That's a goat for sure,
that's
man.
forever
That's
a
definite
wrestling goat.
For sure.
It
Like,
should be, man. The game was
the first one
wicked.
is unreal, man. The Revenge, and then they had Revenge 2, whatever the fucking the other one was. They're good, deadly because
It was-
WWF No Mercy.
No Mercy. That's it. Yeah.
No Mercy, yeah, because if I remember correctly, it was WCW versus NWO was the first one, and that was good.
Yeah.
And then it was WCW versus NWO Revenge, and that's when they brought
Revenge,
it. I
yeah,
mean, you
Revenge was next.
yeah.
level.
Yeah.
Revenge was so much better, and then and the WWF had like a WWF Attitude, and like the controls just was nowhere near as good, and it was
Yeah.
like all whatever. And the WCW games were just so much better. And then so then they came out with, I think it was No Mercy. I felt like there was another one.
There was a few of them for that.
WrestleMania 2000.
WrestleMania maybe.
WrestleMania 2000, yeah.
Might have been one, yeah. And
That's it, yeah.
and they had THQ making that one, the same guys that were
Yeah.
making Revenge. THQ, I think it was it?
It
Was
was,
that
yeah,
right?
100, yeah, it was because that's who did the ones for N64. Because somebody else did them. Because so I was like, I remember like we were PlayStation people. Like I got off of Nintendo at Super Nintendo, and went on to PlayStation
Right.
because I like the
Yeah.
RPGs and stuff. But I remember playing. We got into fucking
Warzone.
Warzone, man, and then Roz War, and then
Oh.
SmackDown, and all that.
Jesus.
Fucking, because it was all coming together. But like, depending on who you hung out with, somebody had a PlayStation, somebody had a fucking Nintendo or whatever, and you ended up playing it all anyway.
SmackDown and SmackDown 2 for PlayStation 1 was great too.
They're really good, yeah, man. They're right on. They're super deadly, to be fair.
Yeah, no,
but-
I just bought
Uh,
Just Bring It for PlayStation 2 at the,
Oh, yeah,
at the
that's right.
fair. We were just at the Pop Culture Fair. Fucking, I love those old.
I
yeah.
was just such a. I'm still like it too. It's never left me. I still am who I was as a child. Like
That's
in
what,
so many ways, but like.
here we are.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like in
Hard
my
leave it
rec
behind.
room, I had two. In my rec room, I had two TVs, man, one on top of the other.
Yeah.
Right? And like it was more like fucking. It was like my palace, man, with the rec room.
Oh, buddy.
Ping-pong table, right? Had two sofas down there, two TVs, one on top of each other.
Oh,
and I
man.
fucking, with my paper money, I went and bought a PlayStation 1, got it modded, and I had like
Yeah.
180 PlayStation games.
Burnt
On a
off
modded
games.
PlayStation
Oh, buddy.
1, burned off games. So I'll tell you, like
got one
with
of-
N64, like I'll never forget, man. I was in because like when I bought the N64, I bought it at the Walmart in Avalon Mall before it was Sears, and now it's like whatever. It's all reconstructed now, and Walmart's up on Kelsey Drive.
Yes.
But that's where I bought it, and and they used to remember when they would have the systems there, and they would have the controller attached to the thing.
Yes,
and
man.
the
Like
game,
outside,
you-
you could test it, like the test thing.
Testing
you
of the
could test
game,
it.
man.
So they
Yeah.
had James Bond 007 there, right?
Oh, my God.
And I was
Buddy,
playing
don't
it,
even get me
and it was
started on that.
blowing my mind, right?
Oh yeah, you
It's like,
know.
and I was just like, I got to get this
Got to
game.
have it.
Like, I need it.
Yeah.
So man, I got that, man. I played the shit out of that game, man. I can't tell you how much. But the 007, Mario 64, WCW versus NWO Revenge, All-Star Baseball 99. Played a lot of that one.
Ooh, baby.
That was a great baseball game. The All-Star Baseball games were wicked. It was sick. And then what happened was I did a thing. I bought PlayStation. I think what got me onto that was Resident Evil 2.
Oh, yeah.
Resident
Yes,
Evil 2.
but I could see
I
that
was
for
on a-
sure.
And I was like, I gotta get that game, man. And I was like, but I've been taking the system. I got it. And you know what it was? This is back before the internet is the way it is now. And I remember we had a year or two because times was tough with my parents and stuff. Like we ended up going a couple of years. We never had cable TV or nothing in the house.
Oh,
Right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm not catching the commercials for games. No answer. You don't know what the fuck. You're just waiting for the new NHL game to come out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Might
Or
buy a
whatever,
magazine
like-
or something here and there, or shop for Drug Mart or something.
Yeah, you might find it through like a gaming magazine or you know, you're just like really just listen to your friends. And I remember seeing this Metal Gear Solid all the time, like, and I just used to look over because I'm like, that's probably garbage. It's another garbage game, right?
Buddy.
And it never meant nothing to me. I was seeing it forever. And then somebody told me, "Have you ever played Metal Gear Solid?" And I said, "I don't even know what it is." Like, you got to play. I was like, no. And they lent me the game for the weekend.
Wow.
I like this. I
So
like
I'll
where
take
you're
it
going
play
with
it. And I ended up getting playing Metal Gear Solid, and I was just like, "The fuck is this?" I'm
Yeah,
like,
so
this
complex.
is like to me like this, dude.
That game was a
There's
game
been a few
changer for
games-
me too, man. I'm not gonna lie. That
Game
changed the
changer,
game.
man.
That was a game changer for me.
Really
That and Silent Hill. Those two games for PlayStation was like, what in the fuck,
You
man?
get really invested in those.
Super
Yeah.
invested because I remember we played it. We played
Yeah.
it down at Barrow's house, Silent Hill 2, and it was three of us playing it, right? Like, so one of our buddies or whatever, we were playing at his house, and there was three of us playing it. But it's like you never seen horror games where it was actually scary as fuck. Like,
Yeah.
shit's coming at you. Like Resident Evil, same thing. Shit's coming at you. Like,
Yeah, I miss
I don't
those.
know. It was different.
Yeah.
Different thing. But Metal Gear definitely was a game. Especially like, remember you had to take out the
Metal
fucking
Gear-
controller and everything and put in the other thing and all this whole shit and change the discs and everything. But they made it part of the game and everything. Like, come on.
Well, yeah. Well, I think the part that you're really talking about was there's at one point you need to page someone to get so you can talk to them
Yeah.
on a private frequency.
Yes, yeah.
And you're like, what frequency? And they go, the frequency is on the back of the game case.
Yeah.
He says that. And you get the game case and look at it, and you're looking at the back of the case, right?
No one was
where you
doing
can see
it.
the screenshots for the game and that.
Yes.
And it's like, right? And it was it was fucking sneaky too, right? Because they knew people were just playing the burnt off games, right? So this made you want to buy the actual fucking copy of it.
Because,
right? Or at least right, exactly. Now you had to turn it off and go down to the video game store and fucking look at it, back of it or whatever to get the code.
At least you have to do
you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, man, that was a whole thing. That was a game changer for sure.
Like, oh, dude, I was like, I feel like I'm playing a movie.
Yes, man.
I'm like, look at the breath coming out of his mouth.
Yes, man.
You know, and just stuff like,
and the fucking when you be in the box, remember getting in the box?
Yeah, I love the
get in the fucking box.
Dude, I loved it.
God.
So you start off in the water, right? And then you jump up, and there's 3 or 4 guards around, you knock them out or whatever. But I remember, like, they were so fucking keen when they made that game because it got you so sucked in.
Yeah, but
it got you so immersed right away. Because after you knock out a man, you get in that elevator. The elevator starts going up, and it changes the camera angles, and it starts being like,
telling you a story is very cinematic.
Yeah, real cinematic.
But the credits are coming up as you're going up. Like, and it was like, what is this, man? Never seen anything like it before.
Nothing
then
like
you go
it.
inside and you see the footprints are being left from behind the guard, and the rain's coming in because now you're up in a snowy spot now, right? And you're just like, like, and you're like, this is groundbreaking at the time,
yes,
right?
Man, it's unbelievable.
And it was just like it was never a stealth game like it, and then I got fucking hooked. I beat that game in one weekend, and I'll never. This is crazy because I beat the game, right?
It's so funny. I did the same thing, man.
The fuckers just keen how to do it because after you beat the game, you had like new stuff unlocked.
Yeah, man. You get your bandana.
You start in the water again. The game just started over with it prompting it.
Gets harder.
A little bit harder.
And you got like and you just start. Oh, I guess I'll just fuck for this and just see it. And next thing you know, fuck man, I've just beat the game and I got another 5 hours live. I'm on this too here now. And I sat down and I beat it twice.
Wow.
In one fucking sitting, man.
Yeah, I agree.
To the TV, man.
That's funny, man. I did the exact same thing. So I started playing. I seen it at. I seen it at fucking Barrow's house. He was playing it a little bit, and I was like, "Well, this looks wicked." I just went right to the store and rented it. And I was like, "Well, I'll bring it back on Monday. I'll rent it for 2 nights because it's $5 to rent it or whatever, right?" So I just went and rented it, played right through it, man. And I played through it, and the same thing. And I was like, "Oh, what the fuck is this bandana?" So I put the bandana on. I can't remember. It was like unlimited ammo or whatever the fucking power was from it or whatever.
Right.
And then you fucking go back and play it again, but it's a little bit harder, right? Same story, but then you played the second one. The second one had fucking different endings because if you did a certain thing, it had different endings and all this shit. Oh man, I played them right up to like the 5th one or whatever, 4th or 5th one or whatever the fuck it is.
That's crazy.
There became that story's unreal. Like Hidemo Kojomi was unreal, man. Like
phenomenal.
Just like that was a groundbreaking thing. That was one of the big reasons I got
groundbreaking, man.
Yeah, for PlayStation has some real weird I mean, not to say that that was a huge hit, I suppose, but there was a lot of content for PlayStation, man, back in the day. Like, holy fuck, was there a lot of content.
Oh, that PlayStation 1, man, like, yeah, both them and 64, they nailed it in their own ways. Nintendo has such an interesting path, right? Because, like, they've always just figured out their niche,
Nintendo
they're
got
like,
their
we're not going to... Yeah, they're like, we're not going to try to compete with Xbox and PlayStation. Let them fucking duke it out.
No, I mean, they're doing Switches and fucking, like, their whole I mean, they're like 2 generations behind, technically, at this point, if you look at, like, technology-wise or whatever way you want to look at it.
But their shit is still so fun to play.
So fun to play.
They're still killing it.
So fun to play.
Oh, yeah, I mean, like, and they got, they got Mario, they got really good IPs. Right? They got Mario, they got Pokemon, they got Zelda, I mean, they got fucking Metroid, Kirby, fucking Smash Bros, like all these things they can draw on, right? Like they got a whole different, like they've created their own little universe. They're almost like, to me, they're like a Disney of the game world, right? Like they created their own little universe or whatever, right?
They even changed the game too when they had the Wii and shit like that. No one was doing that stuff.
Yeah, that's
with
what
the Wii Fit and all that fucking.
Well, because the GameCube was competing with an Xbox and PS2, I believe.
It was, yeah.
And it was just not doing a good job. Everyone was like shitting on it, making fun of it, like, Nintendo's dead now. No. And it was like they knew it. So what did they do? They fucking switched gears altogether and they came in with the Wii and was like, this is something fucking different.
Yes, wireless controller, like Wii bowling, that's still fun, man.
Yeah, man, people still play the shit out of that stuff. Like, they're fucking still, like, half relevant. Like, people love the fuck out of Wii's. And you can mod them easy now and stuff like that, so you can home brew them and stuff. So there's a whole different culture around Wii almost, right? Like, you can go on forums and find people still fucking around with fucking Wii's and stuff. Oh yeah, right. Like
Okay.
Yeah, it's I remember the PlayStation 2, like just like just the way you put in the CD and you had real videos playing, right?
Oh,
And
buddy.
the N64 didn't have that, and you were like, this is so much better, right? And it's like,
Yeah.
and in so many ways, like the sports games. I remember 989 Sports used to have NHL Face Off,
Oh my god.
and
Yes, they sure did.
and it was like NHL Face Off 98 and 90. I remember they had John LeClaire from Philadelphia Flyers on the cover of one of them, and man, I remember playing those. Man, those games were fucking sick. They were better than the EA ones.
Yeah, they were.
I
agree with that.
They were better than what was in, because the sports games like the hockey sports games at N64 sucked. I felt you had to play it on PlayStation.
Yeah, 100%.
It was way better on PlayStation. But then like the sports games were just better on PlayStation. But like the adventure games are better in N64. And then the first person shooter, well, the N64 had Bond 007, and that was hands down the best first person shooter
In that way,
100%.
They had Doom, and they also had. Well, they first had Duke Nukem, but it went to the other console. But they first had Duke Nukem too. But did you get into? Were you like an RPG guy, like getting into Japanese RPGs, like Final Fantasy and that kind? Was that kind of your thing or anything?
No, not really, but I have had a few RPGs games that I get into. The first actual RPG game that I played in bed that I actually liked was actually Super Mario RPG. I thought that game was fucking great.
Yeah, man, that's one of the best. That is
Love it.
And the funny part is that Square Enix, which is the same people who did Final Fantasy, right, which is regarded as like the MMORPG or whatever, right?
I only learned about that on like podcast episode 5 or 6 or something. We had a gaming podcast, and you showed me it on that pod, and I was like, went back. I got one of those old consoles that it has it on there on Super Nintendo, and I fucking just got right into that shit.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite ones, man. I agree. And it was sick for two huge gaming companies to join up and do that at the time. Like that was unreal.
Yeah, and it was so very well done. Like it was colorful.
Yeah,
and it was there was something to it that was like a bit charming and adorable. And it was smooth.
Yeah, it didn't feel like a grind. It didn't feel like a grind. You know what I mean? Like some of those games are very grindy, right? You got to sit there and level up. But this, you still had to do it to a certain degree, but it wasn't. It didn't feel that way. Have you played it? Have you tried it on the Switch yet? Do you play it on? You should get the reissue on the Switch.
No,
man. It's really
the last Nintendo product I owned was the 64.
Oh yeah. You get on with a little handheld Switch, man. Take that Wii on the road, man. Play some Super Mario RPG. That's a deadly game. The new one is really good. They did a really good. You know how remakes go. Like sometimes it's like, this is stupid. Like you could have just left it alone. They actually did a really good job. They kind of like did a little bit upgrading, but like it doesn't really affect the gameplay. It almost makes it a little bit more fun if you played it before. So it's like, oh, this is really sick. Yeah, but it's a fun game for. I will say the new one's really good.
Yeah, I totally believe it. I try not to take too much gaming stuff on the road, maybe because when I'm on the road, I'm trying to be in work mode, trying to be productive. And it's like trying to do some, get out and see some scenery, see some stuff, meet some people, maybe get myself into some fucking shenanigans.
Get some
I got
trouble.
a bit to talk about, or get some trouble or whatever, or meet people, record podcasts, and do some video editing while I'm on the road. I just, I try to be in work mode, and I know if I bring a gaming thing on me, I could spend too much time at it. So
I
try not to.
Turn into Mr. Wow.
Wow mode. Oh, dude, I get so fucking addicted, man. I just get so. It's so much fun. I got out of gaming. I didn't touch gaming for years, and then the pandemic came, and there was nothing to be at. And I got back into the gaming on the pandemic, and I haven't. Like, I'm easing my way out of it. But I'm still not out of it. Like, I was just playing Warzone today.
Oh wow!
I find those games are crack for your brain, man. That shit's crack for your fucking brain, oh man. I'm telling you right now, it just fucking lights up the fucking dopamine receptors like it's nobody's business, man. That shit.
I know, man. That's not by fluke. They knows what to read. They got scientists in the lab and
fucking you knows they do, man. Fucking with that, holy fuck, man. You can't stop pressing start. Like holy fuck, man. Let's go.
Yeah, I know. For RPG games, for Super Nintendo, there were some other RPG games that I enjoyed, but I never did beat. Yeah. I would either lose interest, and or would just get too hard, and I just would never had the patience to to put the work in to beat it. Storyline, I wasn't following storyline enough, but some of those games were Chrono Trigger.
Oh,
like
that's a
Chrono
good one.
Trigger.
I like that. That's a good one.
But I
Good
never did.
choice.
But I never did. I got to after I got a few hours in, I would hit a wall, and I never did get any further with that. I never did. Funny enough, a game I really liked, but same type of thing. I hit a wall. Was the Zelda at Super Nintendo.
Oh yeah.
I forget the name of it, but if I seen the cover, if I seen it,
It's like
I'd show you.
Ocarina of Time or Mask of Majora, I believe is the two for that. One or the other.
Jeez, I didn't think it was either one of them, but I remember what it was. I remember if I seen it, and then Earthbound was another one.
Yeah, Earthbound gets tough, man. It's a bit like I've beat it a couple times, but I get why it's a bit weird to start. To be fair,
That's an expensive.
Yeah,
game
especially
to
when you're like
have.
8 years old, man, and just like
Yeah.
it's just not, it's just like I found it hard, and then the last of Final Fantasy 3 for Super Nintendo,
Yeah.
and I always thought that game was awesome. I thought it was really well done. But I just always hit a wall with that one too, and just I didn't know where to go or what it was I had to do.
Yeah, there's weird. There was no
something.
help, and there was no help. Not like now where you can just fucking Google it or whatever, YouTube it or whatever.
Right.
You know what I mean? You had to go buy this
Well,
fucking
just like-
$100 book to fucking see where you got to go.
Yeah, like I'd put good time. Like I'd probably get like 12 hours in, 10 hours in or something. But I remember there being a point where just like, oh, I don't know where I'm supposed to fucking go now. I don't know what I'm doing. Like,
Took a
and,
wrong
like,
turn now.
A couple different times, like a couple different times in my life, I picked that game up like several years removed from the game and started all over again. And every time I would just fucking hit a wall around the same spot, like 10 or 12 hours into the game, and I would just stop.
Yeah.
And so there was those games, and then probably the next only two RPG games that I really played and bet was Super Mario RPG and then the Mass Effect games.
Mass Effect are pretty sick. Xbox.
On Xbox 360. I guess you call them action RPGs. They're a little different, I guess, but
Same idea. You're still leveling up and fucking with shit and whatever.
Right.
Same deal.
Yeah.
Guns instead of swords or whatever shit.
I'll never forget, man. Like, because I'm not a big RPG guy. Like, I'm more of a sports first person shooter, and then I put like action adventure / survival there, right? Like the RPG is definitely down on the list for me. But man, when I play Mass Effect, holy fuck, buddy!
That's a good one too.
I beat the game in 3 sittings, man. 3 sittings.
Holy shit! That's
serious
pretty
shit.
savage, actually. To be fair, that's pretty savage.
That's fucking serious.
Dude, I turned it on one morning, right? That was it. Fucking glued to it until midnight.
I'm not
Right?
fucking getting
The
out of
next
this.
day-
All day, fair.
Right? The next day, same thing again.
Yes,
turned it
man.
on that morning. Didn't leave my bedroom. Turned it off at midnight. And then the next day, I fucking finished the game off and beat it. I was like, holy fuck, man, what just happened? I was in a vortex for like
Holy
fucking 3
shit,
days,
man.
Just-
I'd say.
Fucking
Jesus.
tunnel vision for 3 days.
Just fucking looking at space monsters for fucking 3 days solid. Holy. I know what you mean though, man. Certain games are like crack, man. They just fucking get you, man. It's fucking nuts. I'd be the first one to say it. I used to be
man.
fucking Halo fucking crack addict at one point. That was my first person shooter addiction. I got
never
right up
into-
to
I never got into Halo.
Reach 4, whatever it is, like 4 or 5, whatever the fuck it would be. Oh my god, man. I looked at my Halo 2 hours one time and I was like, man,
That's a lot of hours.
go get a fucking life, you degenerate man. Holy fucking crazy. It was like 10,000 hours or something ridiculous. Like, it's like, I can't even remember. It's something stupid
You
number.
could have been a
anyway. It's just-
fucking black belt in
Man,
jiu-jitsu
I
in
could've
that
done-
time for
I could have got
fuck's
3
sake.
degrees, man, before I fucking.
I know, man. I know.
It's
I
crack.
go through this all. I'm going through it right now with Warzone. Like, think about how many hours I've put in that the last 4 years of being like, I could be somewhere completely different in my life right now if I was to just take those hours and throw it into something else.
Oh my.
But we
son.
all have those vices.
Oh
right?
yeah, I got tons of vices, man. That's not the only one or whatever. But
Doesn't
yeah.
matter, right?
Oh, it's
We all think of that too.
like it's madness, by it is. It's yeah. That's why you don't keep too many mirrors around the house, right?
That's right.
Because it's tough to look at yourself when you're fucking.
Yeah, a fucking 10-hour binge of fucking Warzone.
Coming out
Jesus,
looking like fucking.
I can't see.
Holy fuck, man! Can't
No
even.
mirrors in the gaming room.
Yeah, haven't fucking blinked in 3.5 hours.
He's opening the door. Fucking don't look at me.
You just start snapping right from the controller and stuff.
I have a fucking
You
big
get
Austin
yourself
Powers
in the
piss.
mirror, right?
Yeah,
Your
controller.
shirt's coming up a little bit. You got the bit of fucking belly fat coming out over. And you're fucking.
Yeah.
You're just like, I'm in my 30s. I should start a podcast about this.
Yeah. Oh, you should. Yeah, 100%. So funny. Break this down. This is an episode right here. Write this
There we
down.
go.
Somebody write this down.
Oh,
Man.
buddy, it's I tell you, man. Yeah, really messed me up. But like, here's the thing too. I look at the time that I put in Warzone, right? Like, it's the game. It's the only game I play right now,
Yeah.
and it's and it's like you think I'd be fucking good at it, right? At this point, and yet I'll right. I'll go on there,
Oh, my
man.
God.
And like, here's the thing: I'll have a few great games, right?
Yes,
and
man.
you get in your head, you're like, yeah, that's right, I am good at this, right? And then next thing you know, you're just the next 17 games, you're just getting raped.
Yeah.
from
Yes, man.
behind.
By
Oh,
9-year-olds.
You're fucking 3 and 15. And you're like,
Fuck, what the fuck
Yeah,
is
right?
going on?
And it's just like,
Motherfucker.
Fuck your mom. Like all this stupid
Yeah,
shit,
next-
right?
Yeah, and the next thing you know, you're like, what am I at? Right? Like,
Yes, man.
I
I agree
now,
with you.
now your whole day is ruined because some 11-year-old just scalded you on
Yeah,
fucking
Skull
Warzone.
Job, more fucking Warzone.
He was so much better than you. Like, he's so much better than you. And then you
We don't have the reflexes no more, but
But it's not even that, man. These
Oh.
kids are like born with a fucking clicky button in their hand kind of
That's
thing,
true.
man. It's a whole different program you're dealing with. Like, we had to grow up with it. Like, we had to learn how to do it and whatever. They're just like we're handing it to them now at this juncture, right? Like, my kid just picks up his like if you gave him a cell phone when you just open it up, you just fuck around. He'd find your fucking apps. He'd be fucking downloading games. He's like 5 years old, man. Like,
you'll
they're
find
just
the
like-
App Store, yeah.
Totally different generation of fucking youngsters, man. They're savages.
Yeah, it's almost like you ever go back and watch like 1950s basketball in the NBA, 1960s
Sure have.
NBA
Sure
basketball,
have.
right?
I could play in
You'll see
1950s basketball.
right. Petey McPete, right? He's there with fucking
Peter McNeely, yeah.
He's there. Listen, he was in the NBA. He can't take that from him.
Yes, man, 100% he
He was
was.
a hell of a baker.
Fuck
He's
him.
got these short shorts.
Yeah,
Is
man.
there, and like, you know, and he's like passing the ball like two-handed chest pass right to his buddy,
Yeah, bounces, big
And it's like-
bounces.
right? And he was in the NBA, and now you take him and you put him next to fucking LeBron James or
Yeah.
Steph Curry, and it's just
Oh,
like
fuck.
he it's what?
Not even.
And that's what you feel like when you're playing against these kids. It's like, yeah, you know what? I play games, playing games for the fucking wall, right? You're just
I've been playing games since I was 5 years old. Fuck you.
I've been playing games. Well, I've been playing longer than you. I'm fucking better than you. And you're like, nope, I'm not.
No, you're certainly not.
You're way younger and you're way better. And my age is fucking showing because these kids are unbelievable, man.
Oh,
And it's not
buddy.
even the kids. And sometimes you come across, you know, you just people in their 20s and their 30s and even their 40s that are good, but it's just like, yeah, these teenagers, man, and these young people in their young 20s, these Twitch streamers, man, it's
Well,
just fucking, it's just a whole other level.
Well-
And you make it look so easy.
Yeah, well,
Yes.
they're just running around shooting, like shit talking you, like telling you how much you suck,
Well-
while they're fucking killing you, like telling you what they're going to do sometimes even, and you're like, there's no way possible. And next thing you know, you're dead and fucking. That's why I don't play that shit anymore because I can't, and it pisses me. I would agree with you, man. I'll throw the
Yeah.
fucking controller to the screen, man. Like I cannot deal with that. Like I can handle
Yeah.
a couple of tasty wins and loses and whatever. I don't want to be fucking beat to death by a 9-year-old youngster. Like fuck that.
You guys are gonna love this one. So I fucking go. I bought a PS5 over the pandemic, or no, probably after the pandemic. It's about a PS5, and we're about it up. Got off some business selling on marketplace up in Kenmount Terrace. So, anyways, it was like 800, and she was charged like $850 or something for it. I was like, which is more than what it's worth. But I was like, you know what? after taxes it comes like $750. I was like, yeah, I can get $750. We're gonna wait fucking 6 months to a year to get it. I paid an extra $100 to get it now. I was like, I'll do it now. So it was like $850. Go and buy it. Anyway, so I was playing, dude. I was playing so much Warzone. Like I was playing Warzone on an average of probably 8 to 14 hours a day, man.
Just at it.
So fucking long. Just at it, man, for so long. All these clips and everything. And then I go right and anyways, one day there, I'm just like, I don't know, I'm having a week or two where I'm like, this thing is fucking ruining my life, man. I gotta soon sell this because I can't keep it in the house. I just can't. I can't be responsible with it. So one day I was on there and I was just getting shit on by these fucking 12-year-olds, right? And I just snap. And I go, that's it. I had a pure, like my dad on the highway moment, right? Just a fucking meltdown, pure snap, and I'm totally his son. And I just go, and I go, that's it. I was like, boys, fuck this game. It was nice playing with you. I'm done. I'm done with this game. Fuck this game, right? I turn it off. I take a picture of it, right? And then I take a picture of the games, and I write a description, throw it up on Facebook Marketplace, right? I sell the fucking PlayStation 5 games, 2 controllers, and a headset. It was like $1,400 worth of stuff. I put it up for $700.
Oh
and I was like,
get this out of my life.
Because I'm like, this is getting at the house
today.
Now. Today. This is going. I'm just for a quick sale, right? So,
yeah, I'd say. Somebody's like, buddy stole that, old man.
He stole it.
Should have headphones alone were $150.
Yes, man. You know.
So like, I go. It was the proper PS5 headphones, right? So I go and I put it up, and from the time that I turned the PlayStation off, from the time there was somebody on my front doorstep with $700, was 46 minutes.
Oh.
Right? And then what do I end up doing? What I end up doing? 2 days later, installs it on the PC.
Oh,
right?
You're off your head. You're off your head.
Yeah, and right, and now it plays on the fucking laptop. Never did fucking. Right, I got it in my system for like a couple days, man. Like I can't. I don't do drugs. That's my fucking drug.
Can't stop. Won't stop.
Gee.
And it's like, and I have slacked off a lot. Like today, like I jumped on to play for an hour, got off. Right, like I could jump on tonight, play for half hour, an hour, get off. Like 2 days ago, I got on. I literally played one game and got off. I'm getting way better. Like I don't sit down and have these fucking 10-hour marathon days anymore.
That's the thing. That's where it's at, man. That's not where it's at. The 10-hour sessions. They're hard to get over now in your 30s, man. It's like a sleepover.
Yes, man. Hey, I don't want to. I'm going to switch gears here. I know you're on your 6th year of the Best Kind Comedy Tour, but I want to know, like, let's tell us a little origin story. How did all this come about here? I know you got a little ball hockey injury that may have led to a series of events, and you
that was your butterfly effect.
Maybe a butterfly effect moment. Let's let me hear a little bit about it.
Well, yeah, I was living with the roommates in town. We were going to comedy club all the time. Top was wicked, and I was I was playing ball hockey at the M5 by Avalon Mall. Laid down a block of shot, fucked up my shoulder, couldn't go back to work at CNRL. And I was working as an electrician, and then I went and upgraded my block. I was in school there, bored of my mind. I accidentally signed up into the Great Canadian Laugh Off at Yuck Yucks on Kenmount Road. I meant to sign up for like an amateur night when there was no thing. I ended up getting this competition that's open for professionals and amateurs. Anyone can enter it. Grand prize is $25,000 for the whole thing. And when I mean the whole thing, I mean, because if you win in Newfoundland, then you go to Ontario. There's like people, there's representations from every club winner. Plus there's people from New York, Boston, LA, Texas, England, Scotland, Africa. People fly to international competition.
Because all the it's through Yuck Yucks, eh?
Through Yuck Yucks. So the Yuck Yucks Great Canadian Laugh Off was $25,000. So it was the largest cash prize for a stand-up comedy show that wasn't televised in the world. $25,000 for the winner. Anyways, so it's big. You get real pros, like proper getting in. This is fucking killer, correct? I accidentally got into it to like meant something for an amateur night. Got into this. Go one night. Top 2 people moves to the finals. I ended up winning my night. I got first place in my night. First time doing it. Me and Steve Coombs got first and second. And went to the finals, and I went to the finals, and I won it. And
So what year?
flew to Toronto.
So what year is that now?
2009.
2009.
So I won that, and then I performed there, and I had a good set, but I didn't win. And a few months after that, I got signed with the agency that's connected with Yucks, and started getting booked in comedy clubs. Like in June, June of 2009. I did a 20-minute paid middle spot, opening up for a headliner. And I mean, 4 months before that, I'm fucking in trade school, like not even haven't even done stand up.
That's savage, man. Not gonna lie, like that's pretty savage.
It's insane. I got fast tracked really fast. Like
you'll
talk to comics. Being in a market where there wasn't a lot of competition, a lot of like a lot of our comics doing it and whatever, like, and they needed locals. I was getting like a lot of comedians will tell you, oh yeah, they're hitting open mics for 2, 3, 4, 5 years before they finally get a paid spot in a comedy club. Right?
Yeah, like that's crazy, man. That you did even to win the competition on your first, basically your first day out is nuts.
Yeah, it was pretty wild. And at the time, I was just like, yeah, fucking better than I won,
But I mean, to your credit, though, I think, I mean, the word natural sounds, it's kind of cliche, but I think you are naturally a fucking funny guy.
Yeah.
So I mean, like it's, and I think and it maybe even be that like Newfoundland charm in you, but you have that in you where you can almost make anybody laugh in a room, So you have. You 4 months or 5 months or I mean you got pushed in that spot, but it was because you were fucking funny.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. I worked hard at the time too, man. Like I'm one, like you can tell, like again, because of my addicted to video games too. Like I'm very competitive in my own way, right? And I can get really obsessed and fixated on that shit. It mixed with competitiveness.
Yeah.
So stand up, I was like, and then the anxiety of doing stand up at any time, especially your very first time. There's a reason why most people don't try it.
Right.
People say all the time, "Oh, I'd love to do it, but I can't get the balls to do it because it's the most
I've said it 100 times.
It's the most ego-crushing thing to go up there in front of a crowd full of people and nobody's laughing. It'll hurt your soul.
Yeah,
right?
man.
So it's really embarrassing. So it's just like, so you're doing it the very first time, and then you're inviting your friends out and stuff, like, you know what I mean? And
people
and there's pretty girls in the audience, everything, and you're up there, man, like Jesus Christ, like it's brutal, right? So it's like I'm not a kid. So I was there, be like, no, listen, I've been I've been to fucking run to the litter and a little bitch in so many ways in my life. I was like, it's like, not this time, but the fuck. I was like, not this time. This got to be my thing. Like, I got to fucking do good. I'm too much pride to go up there and bomb, right?
Yeah.
So I was obsessed. with like writing and rehearsing. I was like, if I don't win it, fine. But I was like, I'm not fucking going up there and bombing. So like, and then I won it, and I got a bite of like what it feels like to get the whole room laughing, like the rush that gives you, right? And then I was just like, I need more of this. So then I just got like obsessed with like getting.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like I know what you're saying. Like there's something about that, man. I'd be the first one to say that.
Yeah, and just ride the wave of it all, and so I did that, man, and it was anyway. So I was doing shows all around Newfoundland for years, and and then the whole I had a tour got started. It's like I used to do one-man shows. I used to do my own one-man 90-minute shows in Newfoundland. No opener, no MC. And I used to have a new 90 minutes every year. So I did that for 2 or 3 years, which was fucking insane.
Impressive. That is pretty given.
But it kind of lends into my hand with the way I am, because I'm so long-winded. And I'm like, I'm just going on and shit forever. So it's like, it's just natural. I have a very hard time with short segments.
Yeah.
Like, so I can do longer things. It's easier for me to do long than the short, because of just how I think of stuff. And I get so obsessed with details, and I got to go off on it. So like, and I think to do stories and storytelling. So I'm not a one-liner, I'm a storyteller. So with that, it's easier to do longer sets for someone like me. So I was going around doing that shit for a few years, and then I went through a bad breakup, and I was fucking drinking like a madman. And then I was just like, I gotta get the hell out of here. I need to get in. And that's when I moved to Edmonton. I was telling me how much I love Edmonton.
Yeah.
And I was like, maybe it's because of the time I was at in my life and what it did for me. But I just need to get away from all the drinking and stuff because it was impossible to get away from the drinking living in St. John's and not be drinking, especially when you're going through a breakup and stuff.
Yeah.
I was like, so I just packed up the fucking 2005 300,000 kilometer base model Echo with the roll down windows, no air conditioning, and drove her to Edmonton.
Nice. That's the way. That's the Newfie way, buddy. If you're gonna do it, that's the rig to do it in.
Yeah, got the car for $2,000 and drove over to Edmonton.
It's cheaper than a plane ticket.
Yeah, right. So I just went on, and it was me and Lynch got a spot together because he was in Calgary, but he really wasn't happy with the situation and the mic situation there. And Edmonton has a lot of great. I'm sure it still does at that time, man. Like there was like 2 or 3 mics a night in Edmonton. Like Edmonton was the best comedy scene in Canada in a lot of ways. Great comedy scene.
They do have a lot of clubs like that's pretty deadly. Because there's nothing here. Like you can't watch a comedy show here unless you go to the fucking theater, basically, right?
Where are you guys at?
So we're in Grand Prairie.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll be up in Grand Prairie in October, by the way. At the Law Theater.
Yeah, we'll be there for that.
We'll be there for that for sure.
Yes, man. Come out. This is a wicked little venue, man.
The theater is nice, man. The theater is really nice.
I saw you at GP Live Theater in 2018. I had fucking front row seats, actually. I got a picture with you.
Is that right?
Yeah. I got a picture
with
you.
Is it wicked?
Yeah.
Oh, deadly. Yeah, it's wicked, man. We did Sergeant Donald Lucas as well before in 2017. But when me and Mike were up there, we decided to do a run of shows. Me, him, and Lisa Baker, I believe it was.
Oh yeah.
And we called it the Taste of Home. Yes. And we did Calgary, Edmonton, Grand Prairie, and Fort Mac. And it was a hit. It was a big hit. Like it was a bigger hit than what we were expecting it to be. Really, I guess at the time maybe. It was good. So then we did another one, me, him, and Brian, and that was a wicked hit. And then we're getting people being like, "Come to Newfoundland for a show. How come you guys are doing shows up there, but you're not doing them here?" We're like, "All right, boys, next year, let's do Newfoundland and Alberta." But people were like, "Come to Halifax. Come to Toronto. Come to this spot." And we're like, "Well, let's add Nova Scotia." And we're like, "Well, maybe we should add Ontario." And then we're like, "You know what? Fuck it. Let's go nationwide with this." So we're like, "Well, we can't call if we're doing a bunch of shows in Newfoundland, we can't call it Taste of Home. It don't make any sense." Because that's what, right? So we rebranded it to Best Con.
Nice. Best
Con Comedy Tour. So we did 27 shows across Canada, from St. John's to Victoria. We did Manitoba and Saskatchewan. We did everything but PEI in Quebec, and as far as provinces go.
Yeah.
And we did Sydney, and we did Halifax, and we did St. John. And we did we did Ottawa, Toronto, and Kitchener. Yep. And we did Winnipeg. We did. Oh, man. Honestly, I can't remember if it was Regina or Saskatoon. I think it was Saskatoon in Saskatchewan. And we did a bunch in Alberta. And in BC, we did. I think we did Kelowna. We did Kelowna, Vancouver, and Victoria in BC.
Oh, yeah.
And then we just started, we did it again the next year, and we did 30 odd spots, and we've just been growing it every year. And, it's just become a real staple to my career, really. Like that tour is my career. It is my annual income.
That's the
rest of the year. Yes, I make gigs outside of Best Con. I make money outside of Best Con, like, just a one-off gig here and there, and, corporate gigs, staff parties and stuff here and there for this and that. But it's a lot of fucking around. It's a lot of free open mics. And it's a lot of just working on new material for the next year.
Yeah.
Right? So it's, we've grown into this thing, man. And yeah, that's how it is. It's growing a bunch.
From the outside, it seems like it's going really well. Like, it looks good. Like, everything looks good. I mean, like, say, we've seen it a few times. I mean, everything is fucking right on.
Yeah, it's been fucking...
Yeah.
I can't wait
to... man, our fans are wicked, too, man, because you get newfies, like, outside of Newfoundland.
Exactly.
It's like crap.
Everyone's just dying
so
for
excited to just... Yeah. right? And it's so cool to be able to like be a part of that. You know, that you're a bit of the because I remember when I was working in CNRL as an electrician, like I just remember, and I didn't even get to go, but I remember hearing the Navigators were going to be at Fort Mac with Freddie Jorgensen and Arthur O'Brien, and like just hearing that, what that did to me, the buzz that gave me.
Fired you up.
I'm getting fired up here now.
Just knowing that they're going to be there.
Yeah.
Made me excited.
Just as someone to say the Navigators to you, you know what I mean? Like the words to you, it's like, oh fuck
Any Newfoundlanders there tonight?
Yes, sir. Like holy fuck, right? And that's how so that's one thing. Like so, I've lived home, I've lived in St. John's, now I've lived away, right? You know what I mean? I kind of got that same idea, perspective or whatever. And I find the same thing. Somebody or you meet somebody up here, and you can hear like a little twang or something going, like they says a word, and you turn around and you say, "What are you at, boy?" And they turn around and say, "This is it." Fucking breaks my heart, man. Like I'm like, oh fuck, I'm home. Jesus, thank God you said that to me today. Holy fuck. Like holy
man,
fuck.
Absolutely.
There's nothing better than hearing that, man.
Every hair gone fucking horizontal.
It's stuck off anyway, whatever it is.
Yeah, stuck right off.
Yeah, stuck right off of it.
Oh
but it's fucking like there's nothing better than running into a fella and being able to say, "What are you at?" And he says, "This is it." It's like, fuck yeah. Nobody says I'm stressed or whatever bullshit, right? They just say, "This is it," and you're like, "Yeah,
this is it."
That's exactly what I wanted to hear.
Yeah. And you're just like close eyes, like that's the stuff.
Yes, sir. You soak it in. You can feel salt water on your skin for a second, right? Like, oh yeah.
Yeah, I know. So like, I know what that feels like from the audience side and from the patron side because I did it before I even started comedy, you know, and just getting. I remember hearing my buddy Wass's name. We're going to be in Fort Mac, and I remember like how that made me feel.
Yeah.
And again, I never did get to watch them. I never get to take in these acts, right? But I remember like just how that made me feel, and like so I know how it makes other people feel. Like when they hear that we're coming to do comedy, like I get it. It's like, oh man, like I'm doing that for people, what people done for me, and I'm like, that's cool that I get to return the favor almost. You know what I mean? Like it's
I know what you mean.
Like it's a cool. It's just awesome too, man. Because you see how happy everyone is to be in this, like just to be in a room full of other newfies when they're away from home. Like you can see the joy in their eyes, and I'm not gonna lie about it or whatever. It's awesome, man. It feels fucking awesome to know that you are bringing everyone together like that, and especially when if you have a good set and everyone's laughing and all that stuff, like it's the best, man. I fucking love it. It's such a great crowd because it's such a unique crowd tour. Like there's comedy shows and comedy tours all around the country, right? Yeah. But it's like Newfoundland's a cult.
Yeah.
Right? It's a cult. It's a whole other vibe, man.
Any that stand out amongst the rest over the 6 years that say like that this was a special moment, big or small, like on the tour.
There's been a few, man. The Fort Mac shows are always wicked, man. They just are. They're just so awesome.
Man, Fort Mac is fucking Newfoundland, man.
They have a great theater too.
Man.
Great theater. The Keanu Theater is awesome, man.
Oh yes, yeah.
It's wicked. Last year was a big moment. Last year was awesome. We did. We've always done comedy club in Halifax, and last year we saw and the most tickets we ever sold in Halifax. So we used to do the Yuck Yucks that was in the West End.
Yes, yeah.
And then we did and then that got moved onto Argyle Street. So I think the very first year we did 3 shows. So that would have been like, I think we did 3 shows. I think we did about a little over 400. But then it got moved, right? The club got moved, and the kid didn't get the seating capacity. It's like it only sits like 75 or 80 or whatever it was.
So it moved it down to Argyle.
So we're only selling like 300 tickets in 4 shows. You know?
Oh yeah, that's
what we did. So at this point, the most tickets we've ever sold in Halifax, it's like I don't know, maybe 400. I think it was 380, something like that. And now we're up. We did a venue last year that's brand new. When we did it, there's only ever been 1 or 2, I think, stand-up comedy shows, and it wasn't even a year old.
Oh, yeah.
And it's close to 700 seats. So it's like double the amount of tickets sold. So like, huge risk, huge roll of the dice because we don't know if we're gonna sell those tickets.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we don't like, especially if we're not getting any media, right? Like we're not getting no big attention. We're not getting no like mainstream credits. It's all just like,
Everybody's word of
you know,
mouth or
like
whatever kind of thing.
word of mouth. You kind of like, so like here's the thing, like yeah, even with with the way algorithms and shit are now, like lots of times you can post about your shit and your fans aren't even seeing it now.
Yes, man.
Yeah,
Right?
it's really
You
awkward.
notice that too, yeah.
It's really awkward, man. And like, I mean, we're doing the same idea, not on the same scale necessarily, but like the same idea. Right? I mean, it just don't work sometimes. Like it's weird, man. The stuff you think is gonna like fucking pop off or whatever just don't usually. Like it's weird, man. It's a weird space to be
It
in.
is. So
It's
it
fucking
is.
weird,
So
man.
and you know, and here's the thing: it's like outside of Newfoundlanders, like who really in Nova, like in Halifax. If you're not from Newfoundland, how many people not from Newfoundland really knows who we are? So now you got to count on these for the Newfies. One, to fucking see it to even know you're there,
Yes, yeah.
and then two, be able to afford it, and three, to not have anything else going on, and then come so they got to know about it and afford it and have the time to come out, and they're going to be 700 of them. And what's the fucking, you know what I mean? So you're in, you're like, you don't know if you're gonna fucking sell all those tickets, man.
Yeah.
And we did. We sold it out, and it was fucking electrifying, man. It
Nice.
was a wicked
nice.
show, man.
Must have been
It was a wicked crowd. They were lined up, man. Like they were lined down, like 2 blocks down, like outside the main door. Like
Wicked.
hundreds of people came before the doors were even unlocked. So we had to picture like the big lineup outside, people waiting to get in, and like that's so fucking like it makes you feel like it's a moment, you know?
Oh yeah, especially when
And,
you're walking in to do a show and there's everybody. You can tell everybody's excited.
Everyone's
about it.
buzzing, you know.
There's a buzz. It's like a concert or whatever. You know what I mean? It's like, oh yeah, like there's something in the air tonight.
Yeah, it was awesome, man. So that was a moment. The very first year in 2018, man, we did our biggest show ever was in the first year, which is kind of backwards, but we did 1,800 over 1,800 seats in CBS, the new hockey arena in CBS.
Oh yeah, I seen the pictures of that. Yeah, that's sick.
It's where CBS Herder Crab plays, and for seniors, it's the biggest hockey arena in Newfoundland. It's on Mall 1.
Yeah.
And sits 2,000 on the floor in the stands. And we did like 1,800 and something people there.
Jeez.
And that was a moment, man. That was wicked. And you know, so that was awesome. Arts and Culture Center was a great moment because it's Arts and Culture Center, so iconic.
Yeah, I know what you mean by that. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like to do the Arts and Culture Center in St. John's, like that was awesome. And then last year we did Jack Byrne Arena, and that was a big moment because we never did try to do a venue that saw us close as whatever. And it just, we guys kind of screwed over because the town of Pooch Cove, they approached us for be a part of their town festivities, and like it was like things were promised that didn't really happen, like in like they just weren't doing a good job at promoting it, like the way we were hoping to do and the way we thought they would. And it's like 6 weeks out, and we're like, boss, this is like 1,500 seats, and we had like 500 tickets sold. And it's like we're gonna have like the arena's gonna feel like empty, man. Like this is gonna be, it's gonna kill the tour. It's gonna look like, oh, nobody cares about the guys anymore, and the tour's dying, and everyone's they're flashing the pan is done. Everyone's had their thing. So like we were getting really nervous, and so then we threw some money at K Rock and got on did some radio ads and got on the morning show.
Oh yeah.
And they did a really good job of pushing us. K Rock did, and that really got the word out and in the sales. So then we sold it out. We did the 1,500 last year at Jack Byrne.
Awesome.
And that was like a real big moment because like we went into that bad headspace thinking, fuck, this is the last year of work. Like this is gonna be a flop and we're fucked because perception is reality and everyone's gonna think that nobody cares about us, and then that's just gonna trickle into the mindset. And whatever, but it was just people didn't know about it. People didn't know the show was there. Like we're posting about it all the time.
Yeah, that's just what you're being told, right?
I feel like that's an issue in most cities, to be honest.
Well, that's a lot of the problem at home is that
It's
nobody
hard.
knows how to do anything properly. Like nobody knows how to market anything properly. There's tons of good stuff in reality, but a lot of stuff ends up being like pretty, you know what I mean? Like Snap,
baby.
couple snaps there.
I just muted the mic. I just
Couple
muted
ducks.
the mic, man. I was letting in some fucking bomb.
Couple ducks.
Couple snaps coming out of there. What's that?
Couple little ducks quacking over there.
Couple snaps coming out of the earphones. Like, what's that? What's that in the earphones there?
Oh, fucking dead.
Yeah. Oh, man. That felt great.
Oh,
The ferrets had the laughter.
oh,
They
yeah.
both felt
Oh,
great.
money, you feel better now,
Oh,
boy? That's
yeah.
all. Nothing wrong with
Fuck
that,
yeah.
boy. It's all healthy and good.
Love it.
Yeah.
So man, like,
Oh,
so
man.
how was the so like, I mean, obviously, like, things are, as long, you know, it seems like everything is going along pretty smooth. I mean, obviously everything is chaotic as fuck because that's how life is. But how did you find going away and like trying to relate as a like, and not, I don't mean that your whole thing is based on Newfoundland or whatever. But like, how do you find relating as a Newfoundlander and like going out and having to do this set now in a foreign country? People are from everywhere in the bloody world. Like, it's not just people from home. Like, how did you find that? Compared to, you know what I mean? Compared to the success of selling at these arenas, all that kind of stuff. Now you're doing this regular night in a place where there's, you know, 100 people or whatever this, you know, whatever it seats.
Right. So doing smaller venues don't bother me. I do small venues and
Yeah.
all the time. I do. Yes, you see the pictures and of the few big venues a year that I get to do, but that's a few compared to, you know, say you're doing 100+ shows a year. You know, majority of them are under 200. A lot of them are under 100. You know, you're doing a lot of open mics for 8, 10, 12. You know, like
Just working
you know,
it out.
if you got if you got 20 to 30 people at the open mic, that's one of the best. That's considered one of the best open mics in the country. You know what I mean? Like, you're not getting 70 to 80 people at open mic. Like 20, 30 people at open mic, that's a great open mic. So, you know, there's a lot of that, and there's a lot of like doing smaller venues, like craft breweries and stuff, where you get like 50, 60 people, and so like you're as comfortable there, if not more comfortable with that. Like, so the saws and stuff that don't matter. The international thing, yeah, of course I was nervous. I grew up in Burin Bay, Newfoundland. I done most of my comedy in Newfoundland. Like, you know what
buddy.
I mean? And I'm going to Bangkok, Thailand.
Yeah,
for my
dropping
first
an
international gig.
EI joke or whatever, that kind of a thing.
Yeah, did you know about that? Did you hear that somewhere else? Did I tell you about that?
Yeah, well, I don't know. I think I don't know. I must have read it or something, but I know what you mean. Like, and I know, as soon as I read it, I was like, I know exactly what you're talking about. Like, that sounds like it would be weird. Is it one of the Is it in a podcast? Maybe.
I feel like it's in a podcast.
I want to say it was on a podcast I listened to.
Yeah, I talked about that somewhere recently where, I dropped an EI joke like a fucking idiot. Because
I was like, I would do the same thing. Like, I know I would do the same fucking thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, fuck, I know I'd do that.
But, oh man, but anyways, yeah. So like, I went over there. So I went over a week early because I knew I was gonna get sick. Because everybody gets sick when he goes over there.
Yes, 100%. Yeah.
Bad stomach and the shits and stuff. So because I'm booked to headline this comedy club for a month, right?
Yeah.
And I've never headlined outside of Canada. And now I'm in Bangkok, which is very international, you know?
Yes, yeah.
And so I go over a week early and I wanted to kind of like take in the culture, take in the pace of things a bit, so maybe I didn't just want to go over one day and perform the next. So I was over a week for that. So the first few shows, Blake says to me, the club owner, he's like, yeah, he said, not going to have you headline right away. He said, let you do some middle spots, some opening spots, so you can kind of get a feel for the Bangkok crowds.
Yeah, see what you're up against here now.
Yeah, I said perfect, man, because I'm not ready to do a headline spot here yet. I'm so glad you're saying it to me. I went up and did 11 minutes. 11 minutes of absolute silence. Pure crickets.
Oh, no.
Pure crickets, man. I'm talking
Nothing.
0 laughs. Not a fucking thing. I take my microphone.
Jesus.
I put it back into the mic stand.
Yeah.
And I go, yep. First time ever doing a show outside of Canada. What a fucking nightmare. And with that, they laughed. Right?
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was
Fuck
just
this,
like,
and they laughed at that.
Yeah. Right? So what the heck? And I was like, oh my God. And I was like, came out then, I'm like, how am I going to headline for a full month?
Holy
You know? Like,
yeah,
it
buddy,
was
I
so
feel you
bad.
on that.
And I was going up every night,
Yeah.
sometimes twice a night. And I was doing a different 10, 12 minutes every time. I wasn't repeating one joke, one story. But I remember being really calm and collective, because I remember saying to Lex, I was like, I said, I'm just figuring it out, man. I said,
Yeah.
and he was so patient. He goes, I know. He goes, I got full confidence in you. I said, I keep saying I come off. I'm like, it was weird. I wasn't stressing.
Yeah.
Like that first night, I came off a little bit stressed, being like, Jesus. But after that, like the second night wasn't much better. But I wasn't like Jesus. I was like, no, like I'm gonna figure it out.
Yeah.
Like again, it's
work
like
it
a
out.
competitive side
Keep
of me
working it
again.
out. Keep working it out.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna fucking figure this out. And I was watching other comics and I was seeing other comics, doing well and stuff. I'm like, it's not impossible. And I'm looking at some comics and sometimes you just like, you'll naturally, it's not an egotistical thing or whatever. It's just like, you try to figure out your place and where you belong, and you kind of have a measuring stick of like, okay, that guy's way better than me. And then you look at some guys like, oh, I'm better than him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you see people that maybe you got that in your head, like I'm better than that guy. And then you see him
Yeah.
do well, right? And you're like, well, if he can fucking do it, I can definitely do it.
Yeah.
Right? So then it's just like, it's just a matter of me figuring it out is all it is. It's been a
Find
bit
your
of
angle.
time, right? If he can do it, if I just put in the time, then I'm going to be able to do it because I'm at least as good as that guy.
Yeah. You just
Right?
gotta find your right
So-
angle or whatever it is on it.
Well, in a
Right,
foreign country
so-
like that too, I mean, there's people from everywhere, so you're trying to find something that's totally universal. You need something that's going to work that's going to almost hit for everyone. You know what I mean? Like, I would think, you need something. It's hard, I would think, for a comedian to go up with, different languages spoken, different nationalities all around the room.
Yeah, different politics, different
Yeah.
beliefs, different everything under everything, different systems of everything. Like everything's different.
100%. So what I found to be the winning recipe for me, because the last 2.5, 3 weeks I was there, the shows were going awesome. I had some fucking awesome sets, like really fun crowds, picking up followers, taking pictures of people after the show.
Nice.
I got followers from a pile of different countries right now, and they're like following me. Some are living there as expats, some live in other countries, like to come in for vacations, and like they just say like, I told everybody I'll be back again next year because I'm going back again next year, and
Nice.
they're like, yeah, like we'll totally come in and see you again, like I was really impressing some people by the end of it, which was awesome, and I fucking
That's
knew I was
cool.
gonna get there.
Yeah.
Right, and I put that competitive mindset in place. So, but what it was I was rifling through all this material in the beginning. It just wasn't really working. It really wasn't. I went through over an hour of material, stuff that was crushing back home. And when I say home, I mean Canada, not Newfoundland. And just like, and using stuff that was pretty generic, like not Newfoundland stuff. Like I was using, talking about my parents or talking about, just different jobs I had or, whatever.
Something that's
And it
relatable.
still was none of the stuff that's worked before and many times. And it wasn't really working. What I started to do is I started talking about I wrote a whole set, and by the end of it I was doing 35 minutes. I had a whole new 35-minute set.
Yes, by holy.
There's a fish out of water angle.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
On a small town Newfoundland boy being the fish out of water in Bangkok, and like I was comparing Bangkok to Burin Bay,
Wow.
and just how fucking insane,
That's a wicked angle, man.
difference
That's
is-
a really good angle.
right?
Like that's a really way
Yeah,
good
and
way
it
to
was-
spin that in a good way.
Yeah, and it's a basic. I mean, it's comedy 101. Take the fish, do the fish out of water angle. It's nothing groundbreaking, but it's unique to me. It's I'm really there's not a whole lot of rural Newfoundlanders doing comedy in Thailand. You know what I mean? So
Don't
it's
imagine,
something
no.
new.
None.
it's something new for them, right? Now
Yeah.
Brian's a pioneer, but Brian's been living there and doing comedy in Asia for so many years, man, 12 plus years. So like,
Yes, by.
he's got me destroyed in that. He's the whole reason I was there in the first place. He's the one who got me the gig.
Nice.
So, but like even like my angle on my style of comedy is completely different. Like, just my takes are going to be original to me, of course, and yeah, and then that started to work. And then once I found my comfort zone with that, then man, it was so much fun. Like when the shows are going good, oh man, they're going really good, and they're really
Nice.
fun, and just like you feel yourself growing, and it's just such a cool experience. And it's just like like a video game. It's like level up. You
Yeah,
know what I
no, that's
mean? It's
cool.
just like
Because that's something I've
yeah,
noticed recently. It seems even about like stuff I see on Instagram and stuff like that. Like, it's not always like the Newfie angle. You know what I mean? You're not always taking that path, which is really like. And I'm not saying. I mean, go ahead, do whatever you feel, but I like that. Like, because now it's like, oh, take it. That is a level up to me. Because it's almost like like when you play in sports, right? You start in your own town, then maybe you play provincials, then maybe you play regionals, then you know what I mean. You kind of level up that way, right? Like, so to me, that's kind of
right.
what when because I do like follow comedy. Like, I love the fuck out of stand up comedy, right? So like I kind of
Mm,
see like you can see other people doing that too, right? Like, you kind of take one step outside of the city, one step outside of the province, right? So you can start to see angles coming that are like different. It's like, that's wicked, because that is growth. Because a lot of people
yeah,
don't even stick with it long enough to get to that juncture, even, right? Like, to take that next step, even.
yeah, yeah. It's just yeah, it takes a lot of holding on, a lot of grinding, and and some luck and everything else. And uh, yeah, I'm so fortunate to get to have that experience. And yeah, it was just a moment for me to be proud of too. To go in and have such a fucking epic bomb, and then by the end of it, come out and be having good
Yeah.
shows, and the club owner's like, "Yeah, you're welcome back next year." Like, yeah, it was definitely a very, very satisfying moment that I'll remember for the rest of my life, and a much needed one because the last year was a year from fucking hell, man. So like I needed it, man. My fucking roommate and best buddy, podcast partner, Tyler. If you ever watch the podcast, like he just dropped dead at 32 years old, man. And he was so much more than just my podcast partner. And he was more than even just my roommate. Like he like it's crazy. Like he really was my brother. Like I can't explain it.
Yeah.
Like even though he wasn't, people thought we were brothers. The amount of people that just thought we were brothers because we were so much alike, looked alike, acted alike, laughed alike, all this stuff. And even with him, like I have an older brother, who's 4 years older than me,
Yeah.
right? And he was 5 years younger than me. But like I always felt like what I had with him was what I wanted with my own brother. Like it was, me and him were way more brothers than me and my actual brother
Yeah, I know what
in
you're saying.
every
Yeah.
fucking way, right? And because of his mom and abandoned him, like it's yeah, he never knew his dad, so like he never had a family, right? And he never had a sibling, so like I truly became his family. I became his
Yeah,
brother.
that's
He
mad.
spent every Thanksgiving. He spent Thanksgiving, Christmas mornings with me and my family.
Wow,
Like
that's crazy.
mom started calling him his son, so he had a mother figure, like
Yeah,
so
man.
he really yeah. And then I had to fucking plan his funeral with Shauna and Luke, and then she got the ashes. She still got them. We still haven't figured out what to do with them. But then I had to clean his whole room, go through his whole fucking room, got that out, right? Meanwhile, all this is going on when I'm supposed to be preparing for tour, right? So now, not only am I not doing any practice for tour, working on new material, building a new set, right? But now I'm too fucked up. I gotta go to therapy for the first fucking time,
Yeah,
right?
man.
So
Trying
I'm
to deal
doing
with all
therapy
this.
because I'm just trying to get my head right before going on tour. And now I go into tour with no practice. Be charging $40 a ticket. Haven't even tried out this fucking shit, right?
Woo!
Like nerve wracking, right? Then I gotta go, and while I'm doing this, now I gotta fucking start moving.
Jesus, man.
On touring, it was too much stress at once, man. It was fucking insane because I couldn't stay in the house,
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
right?
nuts,
that'd be
man.
So,
great. I mean, that's
right?
insane.
Yeah, that's
So it was just
nuts.
like,
Yeah.
and I never really had time to process it too much before now I'm on tour. So then I get off tour, and I'm just like, now I'm back home in November and December, and it's just like, it's all starting to hit me even more now. And it's just like, oh, dude, it's the fucking worst. My head was in a horrible place. So now I'm going over there. Not only do I get the anxiety of being, a Newfoundland comedian that does most of his comedy in Newfoundland. Yes, I do get to do shows around Canada, but probably 70 to 80% of my performances happen in Newfoundland. So not only do I got that, but I'm and I'm going to go to Bangkok to headline, but I'm also doing it when I'm in a fucking shitty headspace.
Yeah, disaster zone.
Right? So I went over there. I came so close to canceling the trip and not even going because I was like, I'm not ready for this. I'm not ready for this. Like, this is going to be a fucking disaster, right? I went over there for 6 weeks, man, and it was just fucking life-changing, man. It was absolutely phenomenal experience. I came back, man. It was like I hit a fucking reset button, man.
Nice,
on everything. Man. I'm in a fucking excellent headspace now. I'm like such a better headspace, and like it was everything I needed and wanted plus more.
Nice, man.
It was life-changing, man. It was fucking incredible.
That's
incredible
wicked.
experience.
That's wicked, man. I agree. Like I lost a buddy like a while ago, and same thing, working, doing stuff, life, and didn't quite, set in till later on and all that. So I get that, man. So yeah, we did some other stuff and changed some things and reset the button, and I get that vibe, man. Yeah. Sometimes you just need a fucking something different to look at or whatever, or what, you know what I mean? Like just do something totally different, man.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned Tyler,
and I'm
he was
glad.
awesome, man. And I know he was on your first podcast and stuff like that. And he fucking loved the Leafs too. And he fucking, what was it, 24 lighters you found in his room after too? Like, I mean, he was a fucking absolute beautiful human being. And I'm glad you did bring him up, because I didn't want to bring him. I didn't know, you know what I mean, like how that goes and stuff like that. But he was a good soul, and I'm glad you brought him up. So.
Oh, dude, he was one of the best human beings I ever met in my life, man. He was the best soul. He was fucking hilarious, man. Like, I was able to, like, even when I look at him, like, when I became friends with him, like, my comedy also projected.
Yeah.
And, like, when he moved into the house and stuff, like, my comedy just got so much better when he moved in, too. Like, him and Nick was also living with us. The two of them, like, I don't hit as many open mics as I should. And I get shit on from a few other comics that, like, come on, you'll be hitting more mics, blah, blah, blah. And I get it, whatever. But, man, when I was having him in my life every day and stuff, man, like, the banter and the quick wit and the laughs we're having, I was getting more out of being around him than I was ever getting from an open mic.
Because he would laugh, you would know what would hit, right? He would be fucking laughing, or he'd be, you know what I mean? It would just be perfect, back and forth, riffing back and forth.
Yeah, he was so great for bouncing material off of. But the thing was that with him, I was never bouncing material off him.
Well, you just
bullshit. I would just fucking go off. I would just go off on something just naturally, and then he would start laughing, and be like, "This is a bit." I'd be like, "What?" He'd be like, "Yeah," and then he would start like riffing back and start like. But the thing is with him, and it's really hard to find this, is that he would do it naturally. He would start coming back with stuff, and yes, man, and this thing and that thing, and he would and we just get engaged. He wouldn't be like, oh, it'd be good if you did this and then you said that or whatever, like, because then it takes the essence out of it. Yeah. He would just fucking dip into it. Lots of times he was feeding me shit. I didn't even know he was doing it. Right?
Yeah, he's playing the game with you, kind of thing. Like he's
playing the game with me. I didn't even know he was fucking playing it.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Right?
It's complete banter. It's just banter. And you don't even realize it until the end. And you're like, oh shit, that's actually like that can be a thing.
Yeah, and then when it would be all done, sometimes he'd be like, "That's a bit. Work on that, or tell that," or sometimes he wouldn't, or at all, and we wouldn't even discuss it. We wouldn't even act like we did it. And the next thing I know, it's a month later, so I'm on stage, and I'm saying a bunch of stuff that we've been saying around the house for the last few weeks, and now I'm saying on stage, and it's crushing.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Like but he's like a cheerleader, right, or wherever we want to put it. Like he's your man in the corner. Yes. Right? He's your corner man.
Yeah, exactly. And it was so losing him was just like it was so many elements of my life being taken away from me. So I went over there in such a fucking horrible headspace, man. So then to come back and just feel so good.
That's good. I'm glad.
That's how good the trip was. To answer your question.
No, man, that's wicked. No, that's a good. That's the perfect. You answered it perfectly. Like that was perfect. Yeah, no, man, no. I'm glad because, like I say, I don't know. Like I say, I really do enjoy stand-up comedy in lots of different ways. Like I really pay attention to it. I try to anyway. Like so, like I mean, you grew up in the same time frame. So like. I mean, now I know you never had any plans on ever going down this road in general, like I'm sure as a kid, or it just never really crossed your mind technically until you kind of just did it. But like, is there anybody now, especially, that you kind of look at and say, man, like, not necessarily like I want to do that style of comedy or anything like that, but like that's kind of like that's what I want to shoot for. Like, who's your favorite? Who's your influence? Whatever way you want to put that.
It's an interesting question because it can get taken. Even your answer can take somebody like I really just want to do my own thing, but I've had to say like inspirations.
Well, just people that you
I've
look
had
up to. It don't
different
have to be anything, you know. Like I take my
look up
comedy
to.
from this.
Well,
Or
yeah, well, I'll tell you a couple that come to mind. Really, like people, whatever, just net, but it's like Rogan is a massive influence
Yeah.
in all the best ways. People like to discredit him, and the people they discredit him because they don't listen to him. They don't listen to
That
him.
is a
They
fact.
never sat down and listened.
that is a
They've
fact.
never sat down and listened to one full episode from start to finish.
Yeah,
Never,
that's true.
not one. Right? I started listening to him in 2010. So when I started listening to his podcast episodes, he was around like episode 100.
Yeah, because he was still
I
in the,
didn't
he was
miss a
still in the
single-
bedroom probably, or just getting out of the bedroom kind of thing, or the spare room, or whatever the fuck he was doing there.
Yeah, like I didn't miss an episode from 100 to like 600, not one. I was engaged, and not only was I engaged, but like we had a house together, and like her family is like a lot of money, and you know we're 5 days out from being married, man, and people are flown in from not just outside the province, but people are flown in from outside the country, man. Big fucking wedding, man.
Yeah.
You know, listening to him was a big reason why I called the wedding off. Huge.
That's savage.
Because I
That's
was like,
crazy.
if I marry him, I'm never gonna do the things that I want to do.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna be happy. I'm always just gonna be trying to make her happy and give her the life that she fucking wants, you know. And not even. And I was like, but the thing is that like she's not gonna be fucking happy because I'm not gonna be fully happy.
Well, nobody's
So
happy.
my misery is gonna fucking wear off on her, and then we're just gonna get fucking divorced.
Yeah.
So it's like, this is all fucking charade. You know what I mean? Or I don't, and I stay together for fucking 40 years, and I just be that fucking God. It's always like happy wife, and you look in his eyes, and it's fucking not.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
man,
Like,
buddy. I know that.
Just dead inside.
I've seen some fellas going around like that, right?
right? And I was like, and that's no good to her. That's not fair to her either. So once I justified it like that, I'm like, it's not fair. I was like, it's gonna suck for her. She's gonna hate me, but this is for the both of us. Once I really bought into that, I did it.
Yeah.
And then it was like that's and that was a massive life-changing moment for me because so many motivational things. You can say whatever you want about Rogan, but like just take away if you don't like him. I don't think most people who would watch this podcast would love Rogan. I would think so.
If you actually watch it, you probably would get in on it.
I think so, yeah. Anyone who listens to this.
Yeah, he's fucking. How can you listen to him and open mind and hate the guy? Like, just think about this. Like, what would you not aspire to be? Like to look to him as to how to live your life. He's very healthy. It was a very healthy lifestyle, right? He eats well, he works out, he does all the stuff.
Yeah.
Right? He does one thing that he loves for a living. It's stand-up comedy. Right?
Yeah.
He's crushing shows. He starts a podcast up. He's the #1 podcast in the world.
Yeah.
Right? He says some of the highest gated comedy shows. Right? What's the one sport he loves? He's now one of the best. Not is he just the best UFC or an MMA commentator. If you just want to break down sports commentary, he's one of the best sports commentators,
especially
in the
interviewer.
world.
He's a deadly interviewer. Like in the
phenomenal
in the ring, oh baby, like don't get no better than Joe Rogan, right?
Yeah. Right, good dad, good family man. Like he's always talking about his kids and spending time with his kids. Make sure he has tons of them. Hasn't lost himself. Doesn't have a drug addiction. Doesn't be caught up with this thing and that thing. He's just living his life, man.
Yeah. And people forget you don't have to agree with everything, right? You don't have to agree with everything he says. Like that's not how it works. Like I feel the same. I mean, I'm doing this podcast and you're doing this podcast. I'm sure because of Joe Rogan in a way. Like there's a part of this that's
definitely
in that, right?
Influence there for sure.
Oh, I listen to him every day, man. I'm doing work at work and I got the fucking podcast on. Like, yeah, I get it, man.
Yeah,
super nice dude.
So
seems like a super nice dude.
Yeah, man. And it's like, how can he not be an influence? You know?
Yeah. Duh.
So. Yeah, I find that with him. I found Bill Burr to be a huge influence.
Nice.
Love Bill Burr, like
best
because he has that. he has, yeah, like, I'm a ranty guy, right? Like, where I've gotten my traction and my viral videos have been from rants. He got that East Coast, Irish ranty storytelling style.
Yeah, like
You know,
Cooper.
he speaks in his own voice, and all the frustrations he expresses, frustrations that we all often feel. He's so relatable. And he's come up from like, he came up from nothing, man. He wasn't no star on a TV show
Yeah.
or in a movie or nothing. He just grinded on the mics, man, and just worked his way up. You know, while always saying what he wanted to say, was never being taking a backseat to stuff. Was just being on the front lines, being funny, and then even like him, to get a little bit, now he's work his way. He got his own cartoon. He's getting a few acting gigs here and there. Got himself a wife and a house and a helicopter and
Yeah, he's
daughters.
a
And
fucking pilot for Jesus' sake.
and he talks about being poor in New York, man, just fucking surviving on spaghetti, man. Like, and now he's blossomed into being one of the funniest comics that also has his life together outside of comedy. Again,
Yeah.
don't have a drug addiction and this and that. Like, he has a podcast where he just sits down once a week or twice a week and just talks to himself and knocks what's on his mind, and he's making it look like, how can you not be inspired by that?
Yeah, man.
Like, that's
His
awesome.
his one person podcast, him and Tim Dillon essentially are like, for one person podcast, man, it don't get much better than the two of eyes. Like, man, like, and
No,
it's almost, and I mean,
they're phenomenal.
I don't know how it works with I don't know what their work, I don't know how they work or whatever, but to me, it's almost like they're creating bits on the fly. Like, it's fucking mental, man. Like, two of eyes are awesome.
Yeah.
Like, for a one man podcast, that's 30, 35 minutes. I mean, Tim Dillon sometimes goes like hour and a half. Like, holy fuck, man. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I know, it's amazing. The pods are incredible, man.
Yeah,
Pods are
and it's
incredible.
compelling, it's easy to listen to. Like, holy fuck, man. How do you come up with that content
Yeah.
every week?
Yeah, and I mean, if you're looking for inspiration, you can say whatever you want about his comedy, but like, I read his book, and like, Kevin Hart's book is phenomenal, man. Like, to come from the projects with a legitimate crackhead dad, like, he caught his dad having a threesome, like, in broad daylight in an alleyway, man.
Oh,
Like,
yeah, he's a savage.
What?
a proper crackhead father.
No way.
From the projects in Philly, and for him to go to be the superstar talent that he is, he had every odd against him, man. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And to persevere and come this again, you don't have to find him funny or whatever, but like, you got to be able to. If you can't take inspiration from him, there's something wrong with your head, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I agree.
Like,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like,
But that's the thing
like,
too. Like, I mean, everybody loves underdog story too, right? Like, there's nothing better than a good come up, and then being like really good and being a superstar. Because there's people that are really good that don't get their credit a lot of times too, right?
yeah. No, his story is awesome, man. He used to drive from Philly up to Toronto
That's
to
crazy.
do the Nubian show, just to do like a 10 to 20 minute set, and then drive back to Philly in the same night.
Holy.
Wow.
Woohoo.
Right?
Yeah, you gotta
He's
have
doing it
that.
for years,
You gotta
man.
have that drive to go do that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, he had that something in him. You know?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it was obviously what he was supposed to be at. You know what I mean? Like, if he didn't, you know what I mean? Like, somebody would have filled
maybe-
the space, maybe. But
yeah.
like, either way, like, that was what he's meant to be at, right?
I mean, he had nothing else to lose either. When you come from literally the worst possible scenario you could ever
Yeah.
think of, you know what I mean? Like, it pushed him in the right direction, clearly, right?
Yeah, his mom was amazing, man. Like, she was
Crazy, man.
fucking ruthless, but she was awesome.
Yeah,
And he
but
talks about that in the
kind
book
of
and stuff, so.
had to be that way, probably.
Yeah, so I took inspiration from him. I also took inspiration from, like, in the very beginning, like, there was a part of like just to get into it and just to have fun on stage and to not be a jokey joke person, but just to get up there and to be high energy and to tell a story and just to be fun. In the very beginning, I took inspiration from Dane Cook. I was like,
Oh yeah,
because he was massive at the time, right?
Absolutely.
And like that mid to late 2000s, like that run that he was on. He was Kevin Hart before Kevin Hart. He was doing all the fucking stadiums. And,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
the good looking comic that had the high energy stories that was selling in stadiums. I mean, and then Kevin Hart pretty well took his place, but he was huge, man. Like, and like, yeah, I was like, yeah, what? Like, yeah, I don't need to get up there and be in a suit and tie and be Jerry Seinfeld or whatever. Like, I can just go up there and fucking be wild and have, like, tell a story and be animated and have fun. So
yeah.
I definitely took a lot from him in the beginning, and I took some inspiration from Tommy Tiernan, comedian in Ireland. Don't know if you know him, but just seeing how he would be really comfortable telling a 20-minute story.
Is he? That's the. He's like. I mean, now he looks like he's an older looking gentleman with tattoos. And is that the same guy? Is that the same guy I'm thinking about?
No,
No.
Tommy Tiernan got the curly hair, and yeah, just like, and he grew up in Ireland, and he actually tried to become a priest and got declined,
Oh
and
shit! I
and
like that.
went into comedy, and he has so much material just
Oh, nice.
going off on church and Catholic church and stuff and just different stories of growing up in Ireland and stuff. That's just like so similar to Newfoundland, but like just seeing him be slow and take his time, because in Canada too, like, you're always told, especially for the veterans at the time too, because we're in a weird transition phase, right? Because when I started it was '09, so Facebook came in 2007, so it's still brand new, right? And it's still like everything is still like about getting a tight 5 minutes, so that way you can get to festivals, and through the festivals you can get on TV, or if you got a tight 5 minutes, you can get on late night, you can get on David Letterman or Jay Leno at the time, and get that, because before that used to be the thing. You wanted to get a tight 5 minutes or a tight 10 minutes, so you can get on late night TV and or festivals, and then if you have a really good televised fucking piece that became well shared, well known, bit of an instant classic, then you get a sitcom.
Yeah,
Or you
the
get
sitcom was always the
or you
path kind of thing.
right, or you get bigger shows. So when I started comedy in '09, you're always getting all this advice. You got to be short, you got to be tight, you got to be short, you got to be tight, you got to be short, you got to be tight. And like, I was like, fuck, right? Like,
Trying to tell a story here, man.
Yeah, right. I fucking hate it. So I'm just like,
warm it up. I'm just getting started, and you're telling me to go home.
And then I see Tommy Tiernan over there fucking crushing Ireland, arguably the biggest comedian from Ireland, and he'd be 20 minutes to tell you one story on stage. And just watching him really settle in and how he could handle the audience and keep their attention and how they would love that. And like, right, yeah, I don't know, not everything got to be fucking short and tight all the time. Like, there's more than one way to do this. And like, that really, watching him really give me the confidence to just be myself and just settle into my strengths and to be me. So he's definitely another inspiration. So I take inspiration from several different comics over the years and learn different lessons from each one and trying to mold them all into my own thing,
Yeah. No, that's good. Is there any is there any specials that you like to watch over and over? Like I really like Bigger and Blacker, Chris Rock, sick. The first Cat Williams one is fucking sick.
Phenomenal.
Rob Williams up live on Broadway, sick. That was a big one for me. That kind of like, I mean, as a fan, I was like, holy shit, this is like, oh man, you're a wild man. Like, you are a fucking actual wild man. Like, this is, it's compelling, it's energetic. You're talking about sometimes very controversial things in a very controversial way, because I'm used to seeing him as, at that time, like a Disney person. He's kind of related to, Mrs. Doubtfire, Disney movies, da-da-da-da. So it's only like 5 years later, you're seeing him live on Broadway, and it's just chaos. Yeah. And he's cursing and swearing and doing impressions of everybody and shitting on. You know what I mean? It was awesome, right? Yeah, like, is there any specials that you really enjoy?
Absolutely. My two favorite specials, and I keep going back and forth between the two, if I had to pick one. I know which one to say, which one definitely was a bigger impact in my life. But one is Elephant in the Room by Patrice O'Neill. If you haven't seen it, boys, you got to go watch it. You should watch it tonight before you go to bed. I'm not joking. It's free on YouTube. Yeah. But there's a lot of stand-up comedians too. They'll tell you there's a lot they'll say that's the best stand-up special. Like, everything about it, like, not just the performance, how it was shot, how it was filmed, the intro to outro, like, the whole thing's a masterpiece. It's just such a great piece of comedy. It's phenomenal. And I can't remember if he filmed it or released it 6 months before he died. He filmed it.
Yeah, because he's a savage, man. I know who you're talking about. He's a deadly comic.
Yeah,
oh my god, he's the funniest dude. And like, what sucks the most is his type of comedy, like his stances, his whole thing was fully designed for this era. Like the temperature of the climate today, like where society is at. Like he was the guy to handle. He'd be Dave Chappelle right now. Like he'd be, people look to Dave Chappelle as obviously like they just can't wait to hear what he has to say about the state of society, right?
Oh yeah, he's like
But,
just nobody greater than Dave kind of thing or whatever.
he's so prolific, right? But like that would have been Patrice.
Yeah,
100%.
I know what you mean.
And he would have been funnier than Dave at it. And I love Dave. But like, because Dave is as funny as Dave is. Like, sometimes you just sit there like, I can't wait to watch this stuff. I love everything he's ever recorded. But sometimes you're walked away almost like grinning and being like, fuck, there's the man. More so than you actually are belly laughing. Sometimes.
Yeah, he puts a smack down, I find. Like, he puts a smack down. He's almost like listening to a lecture. I find sometimes Dave gets... It's not even necessarily funny, almost. It's funny because it's so smart.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's almost like a humorous TED Talk at these points.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, it's pretty
But,
mad.
like,
It's crazy.
Sounds
Sounds
like
like
a next level thing.
Right, it's yeah. But Patrice probably would have more punches, more punchlines.
Yeah, I think so.
Like
I agree
more,
with that, yeah.
And like just, man, he's so funny, man. So Elephant in the Room by him. And the other one is, I believe it's You People Are All the Same by Bill Burr. I think it's that one.
Oh, yeah.
I get a few of this. I think it's You People Are All the Same. So that's his third one. It's one with the purple background. And he talks about Tiger Woods cheating on his wife and Arnold Schwarzenegger cheating on his wife. And he talks about if he gets a child, if he ever has a child, like he knows how to be. He talks about how people people talk about parenting and how hard it is and how it frustrates him. It's not hard. All you got to do is, it's not hard at all. Here you say it from the person, not a parent. It's like, all you got to do is play catch with him. That's all you got to do. Right? You just play catch with him, and then while you're playing catch, you just start downloading all your thoughts onto their brain. They don't even know you're doing it, right? Because you're just talking to them and throwing the ball.
Full fucking CIA movement there, fucking.
Right?
That's the trick.
And he even talks about
Bill's wicked.
how amazing is this? He talks about Chris Brown beating Rihanna.
I know that part. I know what you're talking about.
Very dark, fragile topic.
Very.
And he goes into that and gets away with it.
Yeah.
He made it so funny.
Very compelling.
It's so hard to make that funny. And he made it hilarious.
Yeah.
You
And I think that's the lightning in the bottle thing, or whatever you want to say. You know what I mean? Like, you strike right on the moment, right? Like, and if you can get away with anything as long as you say it the right way, or whatever it is, you know what I mean? Like, whatever it is, the wording, the words you use, whatever way it comes about. But you can fucking get away with anything as if you know how to fucking say it, right? Like, if you can put it in a very humorous way, there's always a point of humor, no matter how dark. There's always something funny about that, because there's just something funny about dark shit, because it's inevitable, right? There's an inevitableness to it. So that's almost what makes it funny. Is like, yeah, that don't surprise me almost, like when you say it. You know what I mean? Like, that's the way I kind of take all that. Like, I don't find it, and you can say whatever you feel. You know what I mean? Like, there's humor in everything. There's always humor in everything, man.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the funniest, man. Like,
and the darker, almost the better.
Yes, the darker. Like, my set was so dark this past year. It's the darkest set I ever did, right? Because I was talking about Tolerant, I was talking about death and Tolerant and everything else, and then I started making fun of the 5 billionaires that died in the submarine and going out with the Titanic and shit, right?
But that's what's fucking funny, man. That's what's funny, man. It's a sin that it happens, but you got to find the humor, and if not, you're just gonna be going around fucking sad face on all the time, man.
Yes, yeah.
Started joking about why nobody should be feeling bad for him, and like you had got what they deserved, and
yes, man. But that's the price of being a bajillionaire, man. Just fuck off. Like, sometimes shit happens to you.
Getting an unregulated submarine, like you can afford it. You can afford to get into
They could have bought a fucking
submarine.
submarine.
They could have went to fucking space before they went to the Titanic.
Jesus
for
Christ, man! Like, are you fucking kidding me? Or what? Buy a submarine. Hire a dude to take you there properly. Like, don't be so fucking foolish, right?
Fuck.
Yeah, and I just did, but like, and I went and like, dark stuff was edgy stuff. Like, you gotta laugh at it too. This is the thing that pisses me off. People say you can't joke about it. Like, what are you talking about? Like, that's how you get over it. That's how you get through it.
Yeah.
That's how you dominate it, so the thing doesn't dominate you.
Yeah, man, and that goes across all
You know what I
boards.
mean?
That's all boards, don't matter what, right? Like there is a funny point to it. Like, I mean, you don't have to. It's not funny that the thing happened. That's never what's funny. It's just there's fun. It's the feeling. Like there's stuff that's just ironic. Whatever the thing is about, there's always funny stuff, man. And the fact that people get so offended by stuff, words, and the people obviously know that you're saying it trying to be funny. Or you know what I mean? Like, when people gets on with that, it's like, dude, what are you talking about, man? Like, leave the poor fella alone.
Yeah.
Like,
What's
what are you even getting on with?
Like, what always brought up me too, man, is like we live in a world now where like intent,
yes, man,
doesn't matter. Like it's like it rarely matters. It's like it's insane to me. Intent is the number one thing that doesn't matter.
Yes,
sure, what the fuck if somebody does a good deed to you? Sure, what good is it if they were trying to kill you? Right?
Yeah.
And it just they missed. Right? Like, imagine someone fucking tries to shoot you, but the bullet misses, right? And it hits his other buddy that was behind you that was also trying to kill you.
Yeah.
Now it looks like he just fucking saved your life, right? No, he tried to kill you. He fucking missed.
Exactly.
But
right? Like it would be like, well, what a hero. No, he's not.
Only a
He's a
fluke.
fucking shit assassin. Lock him up before he fucking.
and a fucking shitty one.
You know what I mean? He's a fucking murderer, and he's not even good at it.
Yeah.
But he's gonna like,
Yeah.
you know, you
Fucking
can't.
shitty aim,
You know, it's like,
motherfucker.
yeah, it's just like it's just like intent matters. Like just
It
like
does.
if someone does something, it's like if somebody buys you a gift for Christmas, this garbage, right? You don't get mad at them because it's the thought that counts. It's the intent.
Yes, man. You went out and did something nice for me. That's wicked.
Exactly.
Right, so you just you're so grateful and you thank him for the intent.
Yeah.
We've all done it
Yeah.
because intent matters.
The thought that counts.
Right, so you know whenever a comedian's doing something, even if the joke is not well thought out, poorly worded, and it is offensive and it is hurtful, right? Let's just say it is, right?
Yeah.
Because that does happen, of course. But you still just can't fucking hate on the guy, and just because the intent wasn't that,
man.
right? The intent was to make you laugh, it just fucked it up.
Yeah.
The intent was to make the laugh.
Yeah, and you don't know that poor
Yeah.
like you don't know him in reality. Like you're just seeing, whatever open mic, whatever the case may be, even on the side of the street, don't matter, right? You're just hearing what you heard, kind of thing. You're not, you don't know nothing, right? You just hear what you heard, and it's just words, man. Like fucking grow the
just
fuck up,
the
man.
delivery
Like-
wasn't the best. Delivery needs work.
It's phenomenal, right? Because everything we learn growing up is not true, which is so fucked up. Man, the amount of stuff that we learn in school, right?
Man, fuck.
That is- yeah.
Holy Jesus.
That is the case.
It's crazy, man. Like,
Yeah.
everything you learn growing up, the Canvas Food Guide is completely different.
Oh yeah,
Right?
that's
All the
mental
stuff
what
we're
they told you
told
there.
Is this and that, and you're told all stuff, and like sticks and stones break the bones, words that never hurt me. Now we're older, we're like, words are the fucking worst.
It's true though. It's true. Like I
Yeah.
hate to get it. Like I don't like getting into all the old foolish stuff, but like it's true enough. Like, and I find that comedy is like a very much of like to me is like that's the gauge, right? Like, and you can't back down because people don't like what you're saying. Because people who complain, there's only fucking 50 of them. Like. They're just loud. That's all. Go on. Leave them alone. Don't even talk to them. Don't associate with it. Just keep on doing what you're doing. Don't associate with that.
Yeah.
Don't comment back.
Yeah.
Don't do nothing. Just like, yeah, okay, right on, and just move on with your life, man. Say whatever you feel like, because that's the one thing. Like,
Yeah, but it's
and
important.
we're starting to turn a bit. I think we're starting a bit of a turn into a certain degree. I think you're seeing a lot more like Shane Gillis is like top of the food chain. You know what I mean? Like,
I think we're turning it around.
I think we're on the turn here now, right? Like, I think we're going to see a little bit
the
of.
pendulum is swinging back the other way now.
Yeah, because you
People
can't put up with that. There's only so much of that you can put up with, right? Like, and I'm willing to accept anybody's whatever. I don't give a fine fucking reality of it all. But you know what I mean? Like, you can't keep going one way. It's just not how
No,
it
we're
works,
sick of
right?
that. We're gonna turn back the other way,
Yeah.
baby. We're gonna stay some
So, but,
spicy words
Yeah.
here.
But I think that all goes back to, and I mean, not to say we're anywhere near Joe Rogan or anything like that, but it is due to Joe Rogan and fucking Mark Norman and all these dudes that are just basically saying, Bill, whoever. Like, I mean, Chris Rock's new special kills, Cat Williams' special fucking kills on that. Like, people are just saying whatever they want, right? Like,
I think that's the way.
good for
Yeah.
them. And fucking
Well, I
Flatner,
think
man, give her. That's what comedy's supposed to be for, man. You're supposed to poke fun and all that shit, right?
Yeah, the memo's starting to get out there a bit. It was so nice to see Netflix and Spotify have a backbone. That was so
man,
nice.
likes that.
Like when Spotify had a backbone and didn't kick Rogan off the platform when when he was going through that COVID cancellation bullshit he was going through, and then they caught him saying the N word like 15 years ago and all this other stuff. Like people were calling for Spotify saying like Neil Young took his music off.
Oh yeah, Neil Young being silly again. Like, go on,
put it back on though, didn't he?
He sure did, because you don't get no fucking money if you don't have your fucking shit on there.
Yeah, exactly. Fucking idiot. And that sucks because I love Hard to Go.
I love Neil, but I like Neil's music. But
Harvest
Jesus,
Moon,
Neil,
love
go
it.
on, but just go and retire somewhere, sit on the beach or something, or whatever you're up to. Sit on a fucking porch somewhere. Or something.
Yes, don't get involved.
But it was so nice to see Spotify have a backbone and say, listen, we have millions of pieces of content, like not everything's for everyone. If you don't like it, listen to someone else. And Netflix had the exact same response when they tried to cancel Chappelle.
Yeah.
Like, people, because he had what was crazy was he didn't say anything bad about trans. Didn't say anything bad about it at all.
Man.
And he just talked about him and talked about his experience with whatever. And just because he even just talked about him and had humor around the
situation.
And
that's it. That's the problem, right? That's exactly it.
They're out protesting. And saying and they said, you know what? Fine, don't come back to work. Find jobs somewhere else because we're not taking it off. Because we are Netflix and we have a lot of content, and no one's forcing you to watch it. If you want to watch something different, we probably got it because we got everything here.
Yes, sir.
And that was the stance they took. And it was so refreshing to see entities have a backbone, because so many production companies and networks have been after firing people over such less.
Oh yeah.
And it's so heartbreaking to see, as far as I'm concerned, and to sort of see like actual legitimate platforms have a backbone. I really believe that was the pendulum swinging, like you guys were talking about.
Man. Like it's been a big swing. I've noticed it because, like I say, I mean, like, and I'm a big, and like I follow Rogan. I mean, I listen to it every day. Like the new episode comes out, I listen to it every day. So, but I find it like they're really like when the mothership kind of dropped, like it just changed it. And then like Shane Gillis got fucking cancellation, fucking notice from SNL and all this bullshit. It's like, man, like what is going on here? Like, you can't be funny anymore. Like, you're not allowed to be funny on TV or in public or whatever. Like, what are you talking about, man? Like,
social media
man.
Ruined all that, right? Like,
and it's not a majority either, which is what bugs me the most, right?
Right, because it's always the minority. It seems like it's more people than it is, because what it is the small amount of people, they know they're outnumbered, so they have to try to even the playing field by being louder.
It's always about
to overcompensate, right?
Yeah.
So they're so loud, so you have a smaller amount of people that are so loud, because the happy people are being quiet because they got nothing to say because they're just enjoying it.
Yeah.
So you got the happy people aren't saying nothing, and then you have this group that are being super loud. So now it's all like, well, everybody's upset and blah blah blah. No, not everybody's upset. Most people are upset. And now all of a sudden, society is changing. In a democratic society is changing in the way of the minority, which is so fucking backwards. We always go in the direction of the majority. Fucking 51% of the vote goes to this guy. That's it. The complete projection of the country and the province goes a certain way because 51% says to go this way. So we've been programmed to always go where 51% plus wants it to go. And now, but somehow there's 10 to 15% that wants it to go this way. We're going that way because it's just like, what the fuck is going on?
I know,
like, it's crazy. You know what I mean?
Mad,
like,
it's mad.
Wild, but. Yeah. So it's nice to see it come back the other way. It really is, and it's just, you see people. Andrew Schultz had a big impact on that too.
Schultz too, yes. Schultz, I forgot to say him out loud, but yeah, Schultz is a big one too.
I think huge. He's had such an impact on he had a special and he took it down, or it got taken down off Netflix.
Yeah.
And he put it up back again privately. Yeah. And he was like, today's the day that we take it all back. Like his whole special was standing for something larger than just stand up itself. It was the whole energy and the ability around it, and he's had a huge impact. And Andrew Schultz is definitely becoming a legend in his own right.
Yeah, Schultz is good. He was good on Rogan the other day too. Like, he had a lot of good thoughts and stuff on stuff, right? Like, everybody's just changing the game, man, and it's good to see. Like, it's nice to see because the 90s were a very interesting time for comedy in certain ways, right? Like, you had certain people rising up in the early 90s, but it was all, like you say, based around sitcoms and stuff. But there was edgy comics out there and stuff like that, right? Like there you got Hicks and people like that out there, kind of on the edge of all that. But like, it kind of got wiped out for a while. Like it didn't like by the early 2000s, it was kind of like it was in a weird space. Like it didn't know whether to be on the internet. It didn't know whether to be anything. I don't know. It felt weird to me. And then, when you got in 2010s, it kind of figured its shit out and was like, oh yeah, okay, well, once podcasts and stuff became more accessible and things kind of broke open a bit more that way, it was a lot more. It started to become more edgy, and then it kind of like the other stuff kind of got in the way and whatever else. But like now it's on this train of like, it's very good comedy like from the 80s, like when you seen like Eddie Murphy and that kind of stuff happening. Like as much as that was still based around movies and shit like that, but it was still edgy. Like Eddie's shit was fucking.
Well, if you watch that
beefy,
now,
man.
If you watch Delirious now, it's fucking.
It's super edgy, man. So you know what I mean? Like they wouldn't get away with it now. I'll put it that way.
No, absolutely not.
No. Okay.
You know what's interesting? I was talking to my buddy about it the other day. So Dave Chappelle, when he put out those specials, the first one, Killing Him Softly, his first real proper one. He don't know if what you remember from Killing Him Softly, but it was the one where he had
the baby
coming out and him driving around in a limousine and all that. Was it a dog?
Yeah, it's my dog. Yeah, I have two of them here. So
always I love dogs, man. I love animals in general, but like dogs.
Two dogs here. Two little rescue puppies.
Oh, that's wicked, man. Yeah, but like that first one was so funny, right? And then he put it to the next one where he's got like he's in San Francisco and he got like the little blazer over the yellow shirt and he got the mustache. And that's when he does the Sunny D joke, right? Yes. I want that purple stuff, right? That's the second special. So that second special was also hilarious. But in the moment, it was like Killing Him Softly had the bigger pop, I feel like, had the bigger, was like the funnier one. But if you go back but like as far as time goes, the second one has aged so much better. Like the second one now is definitely the funnier one.
Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah, if you go back and watch the two of them now, you'll find yourself like the second one's more relatable now than it was when it fucking came out.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to go back and watch that one again.
Yeah, he really does some. It just it was a slow. So the way I explained it is the first one I feel was lightning in a bottle. You know, it was a bang. Yeah. It was an explosion of comedy. It was hilarious. You know what I mean? It was hot.
Yeah.
But then the second one was a slow burn. Is how I feel about it. It was like it's just I feel like it's like fine wine. It's gotten better. You know, talking. Yeah, just marinate in your head, and you find yourself quoting more from that one than you will the other one.
I haven't seen
that.
Yeah,
I love when he talks. I love when he talks about 9/11 and 9/11 happened. Somehow we gotta stop. Right? I mean, this is more relatable now than it was then with fucking social media and everything now. He talks about how we gotta stop idolizing and putting celebrities on a pedestal.
Yes.
Right? We gotta stop, giving them so much power. Like it's crazy. He's like, 9/11 happens and planes go in the tower and watching, it's like 2 days or something. After fucking planes or the tower, and it's like nothing. It was CNN or whatever. It's like, we got Ja Rule on the line here.
Ja Rule.
Ja, give us your thoughts on the whole thing. Ja.
And he's like, Ja Rule. He's like, what the hell we got? What the hell we got Ja Rule on the line for? I'm scared to death.
Man, I'm scared to death. What I got Ja Rule on the phone?
He's like, hey, I want to get somebody out that might have some information that Ja Rule might not have.
Oh man.
Like, that's so funny, Dan. I mean, the way with TikTok and Instagram followers and everything going, like we've never had it's like people have never been more obsessed with like public figures than they are now.
Oh, my son.
That bit's more relatable now than when he fucking said it.
Yeah, anyone could be. any little idiot on TikTok can be like a social.
Well, I mean, look at
influencer.
me here trying to be famous, right? Like,
Right? But the thing is, like, what I was saying was with some of Chappelle's specials.
Yes, yeah.
We were at Gloucester or wherever you're at, and the first one, Kill Him Softly, with Baby, and John ran the limousine in the ghetto and everything, right? That's that one.
I do what I do to feed my kids, you know.
Oh, fuck.
That's a baby.
It's a baby.
What are you doing? He said, I'm selling weed. He said, can't let the situation trump my morals. I gotta do something. So I rolled the window back down. And I said, hey, baby, you got your whole life ahead of you. You got your whole life ahead of you. Stop selling weed. He said, I got kids to feed, motherfucker. I said, shit.
So funny, man. He's so good, man. He's so fucking good.
It's so good, right?
Yeah.
But I was saying, like, that first special came out, it was just so funny because it was so obscure. It was
fuck, man.
It was just so silly, and there was nothing like it. The crowd was such a fire crowd. And then the next special came out where he was in San Francisco with the blazer and the yellow shirt on.
Yeah.
It was a great special. But, like, everyone was like, yeah, it was great, but the first one was better. Right? Like, at the time, the first, like, Kill Him Softly was, like, just iconic.
Yeah.
But I was like, now over time, I was like, the second one is aged better. Like, and I was saying, like, if you go back and watch it, I mean, the second one is funnier now when it came out.
That's
and,
funny,
like,
yeah, how that goes. He's smart. He's a smart dude, man. Like, he had his finger on something, right? Like, there's something he just had the whole thing. What's up?
The cat meander.
It's all right, man. Dogs
Here,
and
monster.
shit.
Come here. I got a cat. So, this cat is my girlfriend's cat.
He comes to you,
And her name,
or she comes to you.
and she is his perfect name for her. Come on, come here. See, just show you up. Here.
Show you off now. Look up here, look.
The cat's name is Monster. That's the cat's name. And she is now. Here, come here. Here.
Monster, get up here, you savage.
Yeah. All right, I'll see if I can get up in the camera for you. Come here.
Monster.
Come here.
Monster on cam.
Come here. Here. Here with this.
She's like, frig off, buddy. She's like, frig off, old man.
Over here.
You get me that.
Come here, look. Come this way.
Not happening. Frig off, he's like, oh. Holy Jesus.
He's a 40-pounder.
What are you at? Just making a racket. Just making a racket.
Come here.
Jesus,
What
put
are
me
you-
down.
Come here. The poor cat, man. She's looking at me. You're disgusted right now. She looks
Get
at me
the
being
fuck
like, if
away
I
from
had
that.
fucking thumbs, let me tell you.
I would fuck up your day.
Put you in a rear naked choke.
Right here.
I would murder you. Now,
In your
where
sleep.
is my chicken and gravy?
Bring forth the wet food, please. Bring forth
On
the
the
wet food.
silver platter.
Whiskus.
So Colin, man, where you been working out to lately? Are you working out in town, or are you just sitting around? Like, because you're coming up on a tour, like what, about a month? Give it what, a month away at this
Where you
juncture.
putting the
By the
reps
time
in?
this comes out, it'll be a month. Like, where you putting your reps in, man? Where are you doing that these days? Like, how well is the St. John's comedy scene
Yeah. Reputting the
functioning these
spots.
days?
It's alright. It's not what it used to be, but I guess it's pretty good. Like, so Aaron's pub every Thursday night. It used to be Trapper John's.
Oh yes,
and,
Trappers. Yeah, okay.
And then Trapper John's ended up going to shit for its own reason, a couple different reasons.
Trappers.
And
is
then
different.
one of the bartenders there ended up like got into some really bad shit,
Oh,
and
snap.
the comedy show ended up getting hot out of there. So
well, that's it.
yeah. So anyways, it's down here in the pub now, and it's good. And so that's every Thursday night, and at the Newfoundland Embassy has a show at the end of every month. I just headlined that there a few weeks ago. That was great.
Oh yeah, that's good.
And that's a ticketed show. It's just like $20, $25, whatever it is for a ticket. And Here, come in. And yeah, so it's been working on stuff, wherever I can get a bit of my time, just getting warmed up for it all. And first show of the tour is June 1st, Bonavista, the Garrick Theatre.
That's gonna be sick, man. That's gonna be a good one.
Yeah.
Because you guys you're here like about 15th or 16th of June, I believe it is. Should flash it up on the screen. I'm gonna flash it on the screen.
Later.
No, it's October.
October. Yes, that's what I mean. Sorry, boys. I'm gonna flash that up here now. I'm gonna
Supposed to be around your birthday here.
Let me have a grand pause.
So I got her here now. I got her flashed on the screen here now. I got her flashed up in GF Dub. Get in there, boys. So that's the boys. That's close to us. That's right next to Bishop Falls.
Yes.
Get in there at that.
October 12th is Grand Prairie.
Yeah, right here.
And I'm in Harbor. I'm actually in. I'm in your way, Bishop Falls, on June 8th. That's by myself for it to buy. Because if you look at the schedule, you see June 1st, July.
A little gap.
June 1st. Yeah, June 1st in Bonavista and June 14th and 15th in Harbor Grace. So there's a weekend in between where I'm just going to go off to my own show just to chill, just try to get my shit together for the tour a bit. And just because I still didn't get the amount of my time that I wanted in this year either. So, not in Newfoundland. So, because I was in Thailand for 6 weeks, and then I was in a cruise on vacation with my girl for another week. So, like, there's a couple months of the year I wasn't even in town, and then you can't give it as plentiful of gigs in town as you want.
Yeah.
Sometimes, and so I'm just like take whatever I can now, try to be as good as I can for the people.
Yes, man. Proper thing, man. You gotta get a few fucking reps in before you get on the go, especially when you're hitting the road.
And the crowd from Bishop Falls should be no better crowd. They're gonna welcome you with open arms, and they're gonna love it.
Well, dude, they were great last year. They were wicked.
That's good. I'm glad.
The old Betty's. I had the
KFC,
old
baby.
women.
KFC.
The old women.
Get down to the Knights now, boys. Get down to the Knights of Columbus.
Yes, sir. Get down there now.
Yeah, I remember I opened up. I wasn't even thinking, right? Because I'm not Catholic. So I wasn't thinking that the Knights of Columbus is linked to the church.
It sure is.
Wasn't. I just thought Knights of Columbus was like
just like it's Allegiant, or whatever, like a spot or whatever to go.
Yeah, like a Lions Club.
Lions Club. That's what I was looking for. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, that's all I'm thinking, right? Anyways, I opens up at the top. My very first thing. So my first one from Bishop Falls, right? Because I've never drawn Bishop Falls because there's no reason to fucking draw through it if you're not going in there.
You just pass on by.
Just drive right across, stop in
my
Irving.
whole life, I've been all over this island. One of the only spots I've never been is Bishop Falls. And I was like, it's a funny fucking town. And I said, it is what it is, but I suppose there's one thing you got to do. I said, that big Jesus that's in the church. I was like, that got to go, boys. That's what are you fucking at with that?
That went over.
I've been all over this island. I have seen every church there is to see. I have never seen a church that has a Jesus that's the size of the fucking church that's just looking down at everybody in fucking shame and guilt. Right?
And that's exactly it. It's all about guilt. It's not about shame. It's about the guilt.
Lots of guilt. Lots of shame involved.
Right? Yeah, and just pure judgment. He looks like he's a bit disappointed and fucking everything.
That's right next door to my house too. Like the house I grew up in. That's like
where we went to high school.
Literally right next to our high school. Yeah, that's hilarious. That's fucking hilarious.
I remember my boss. I was like, and I'm not even thinking anything of it. I'm not even thinking that this building I'm doing the bit in is fucking owned by that goddamn church.
Yes, sir. That Jesus owned that.
And when I gets off the stage, right, then when the missus there tells me, like, oh my God, I was so nervous when you were doing that. And I was like, why? She's like, well, this is Knights of Columbus. I said, yeah, so what about it? She's like, well, we're owned by the church. I was like, what? I didn't know that.
As a good Catholic, my son, you can have a beer. That's no sweat. That's no sweat.
Yeah.
That's wicked, but that's what it's about, man. That's exactly it. That's exactly what it's about right there. To me, that's the best part that happened. Like, that's the best part of the story is that it happened. Like, holy fuck, man.
That's all part of it.
Loves it, man. Because that's what makes it, like, that's what makes, to me, like, say, that's what makes shit funny, man, is the uncomfortable part of it, right? Like, that's the funny part, right? Like, I can't imagine.
Yeah, but
Just fucking doing that in Bishop Falls. Holy fuck.
yeah, but luckily, like the old women were taking their glasses off, wiping the tears in their eyes.
Wicked.
They were loving it, man. They were taking it off.
But that's what it's about. That's it, man. That's what it is. Like,
Man,
fuck.
Yeah, it was a great.
But I think
good,
that's part of Newfoundland too, in a way, right? Like you almost laugh at anything because it's fucking Newfoundland sucks most of the time. Shit, like basically, it's fucking raining fucking however many percent of the time, too much than it should be, or whatever. You know what I mean? It fucking is windy, and then it fucking snows 10 fucking feet, and fucking.
Yeah.
This is a stupid place to live in all reality of it all, right? But it's a wicked place to live because the people are so fucking nice, and they're really appreciative of when you show up, and fucking it's fucking right
Such
on.
a love-hate relationship with it. Like most of the comedy shows are awesome because, like you say, people. I was doing a thing for we're doing an interview for I think it was a newspaper in Halifax, and doing a news interview, right? And it was like a phone interview that then you were going to put in print.
Oh yes.
And it was like, it just caught me. I guess they were looking for like a funny answer, and it deals with different people or whatever. And a lot of times I answer things like I'm just too quick to just answer them like honestly, not answer them funny. I'm just being honest, and I answered the question. And she's like, so many comedians, like for the size of the province, like so many comedians around Newfoundland. Like what's this, the size of it, so what makes Newfoundlanders so funny? Because so many people, and I didn't hesitate. I nearly caught her off, and I just said misery.
And you're not fucking wrong. Holy fuck! Yeah.
She's like, is there something in the water? Like, what is it? Like, what makes Newfoundlanders so funny? And I think she wanted to be like, well, my love.
Yeah.
Like a silly, funny answer or something, right? And I just said misery. That's all I said.
Yes, it's true.
I love it, and that's exactly it.
And I said, no, and she said, oh, really? And I could tell in her voice it's not the answer she wanted.
No,
right?
she wanted you to be a Newfoundlander, man. She wanted you to put on a little show, right?
Yeah, and I was like, yeah. She said, oh, she's like, but I thought I said, yeah. I said, Newfoundland, I go, it's just full of wind and rain and fog and lack of employment and EI and diabetes and all this stuff. I was like, it's fucking full of it. And I said, the only way that you can stay there and not move away is to have a great sense of humor. Because if you don't, you can't get through the misery.
Holy fuck. That's true to it, man.
I was like, yeah, I always say too, like, there's nobody in Newfoundland who gives a fuck, because everybody gives a fuck moves away. Right? So
it's true enough. You're probably not wrong about that. Holy Jesus.
Everyone, you just gave up.
I can't fucking take this no more, man. Holy fuck.
Because you can't stay in Newfoundland and give a fuck. It's impossible.
Oh, fuck
right?
me.
Because if you give, you blow your mind. Because if you give fucking, well, I want to grow my career. I want to be around better weather. I want to be around better food. I want to be around better opportunities. I want to be around a place for growth. I want to be better schools for my children. If you think all of these things, you're gonna move.
Yeah.
You just are.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's just like
You have to.
Right. So you can't think like that and stay there. You can only stay there if you just don't give a fuck.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Like there's a misery in it all, right? Like there's a misery in it all.
Right. So it's true, and that's what. Yeah, you got to learn how to laugh at it and make jokes about it. That way you can get through it. Because if not, it'll beat the shit out of you. It'll completely defeat you. And but that's the reality of it, man. But so as a reality of it, Newfoundland crowds, anyone who's coming out to a show, that's what they're coming out for, man. Make me laugh. Say whatever, man. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Just say it funny. Just say it funny. That's all. Don't matter. Right? But people are out to have a good time. Like, and most, like, you get 4 or 5 doofies in the fucking room, man. That's it. A few beers, like, especially you can feed them a few beers or something. Like, oh my god, that works in my soul, right? Like, I mean, like, think about how many times you've been at your house too, like, like kitchen party type atmosphere or whatever. Like, your parents' friends are over and. Like Jim is the funniest fella in the room, or whatever. You know what I mean? He's just going over telling you fucking crazy stories. Or somebody singing a fucking song, or I don't know, like to me, like Newfies is just it's all about fun. Like once you put them in a room together, it's all about fun. Everybody's trying to entertain each other and be polite as possible and make sure you're comfortable as possible and fucking overfed and fucking everything else, right? You know what I mean? Like there's a humor in the whole thing. Like there's this humor in the whole fucking works of it. Like the fact that like people still does like Jig's dinner on Sundays and like listens to Open Fucking Line on, you know what I mean? Like all these fucking things, they're like memes in themselves and all these weird, like you know what I mean? They become these fucking things. Like we live in Alberta, man. I follows more Newfie shit.
Well, you watch NTV?
Else. I watch his NTV. You know
NTV
what I mean?
all the time. Like I know you're a big fan of NTV. Like.
Oh, buddy, don't miss a day.
Oh my gosh,
today.
Loves
I'll
it.
tell you what, the other day, yesterday, for whatever reason, the cable box was being weird. It was like, oops, there's a problem. Like it was out.
Yeah.
So I was like, fuck, right away. I got the MTV that MTV knew that fucking casted the TV. I was like, I'm not missing the fucking news, man.
Can't miss the fucking winter, old man. You have your head on it.
Oh, listen, I get this Eddie, great. You get not because then I get the NTV first edition, right? That comes on 5:30 to 6 half-hour news.
Oh yes.
And then they get 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock news, so it's 90 minutes of news. 45 of that 90 minutes is Eddie Shearer giving it the winner for the fourth time.
Oh yeah.
Eddie is the gear, man. Eddie is the gear.
And I'm here for it.
Yeah,
I love it.
Eddie's the gear,
I know.
man.
I'm a fan.
Loves
I'm a
it.
big fan. I've always watched NTV.
I love NTV. It's because this is here's what's so funny about it to me. It's so funny, right? Because we all love NTV. We love NTV for pretty much the same reason that most people love NTV, and it's just so interesting, right? Because it's got this this level of comedy to it, and almost
There is.
It still feels local to me.
Right, but that's the point. But it's got this almost like sense of like amateurness in a level to it, right? Like it lacks the polish.
Yes.
You can turn on the CBC News. It's CBC News. Like the camera, it's like the camera, like the camera that they're using, the set, the colors, like the headings, the animations of how it comes in and out, like everything is so clean and crisp and like and pro, right?
Yeah, and it's the same way across. Like you watch the national news, you watch the provincial news, it does the same.
As the same
stuff
guideline of intro, camera shots, zoom in, those kind of things. Yeah, but NTV has that amateur feel to it too. Like in the top story is like, oh, there was a moose in Mrs. Hannon's backyard here this morning, and we're
gonna take you to her right now.
No, it just trampled all over the rhubarb, all over the backyard now.
Well, what I love is the headline story, the top story, is almost always the same on both platforms, CBC and NTV.
Yeah,
right?
They'll
They
tell you
both
the
get
big
the same
news.
top news story, right, for the most part. And then the second news story maybe. But once you start getting into the third and fourth, that's where they really shows their true colors.
That's true, yeah.
That's where it shines.
And it's just like NTV, like you're saying, okay, we're on to the third, fourth story, boys. We're talking about a bunch of shed break-ins up in Foxtrot now.
Yes, man. And they're up, or like there'll be like there's a skidoo race up on whatever pond today now, and then you see like fucking whoever the fucking dude is up on the pond interviewing boys under skidoos on the lake, right? Like this has gone mad. Yeah. Like what is that?
What I love about it.
Love it.
But here's what I love about it. This is what I truly love about it. To not, and I say this with full sincerity, is that you got like this whole amateur thing too, right? Oh man. But when they do it, but the funniest thing about it is they're the only news where it feels like actual journalism.
Yeah.
It's the only news. It's the only news that feels non-biased.
There's no agenda.
It's the only news where I don't watch it and I feel like more liberal bullshit or more liberal propaganda or more conservative Republican. If you watch CNN, you're just like Jesus, this is left wing news. And if you watch Fox, you're like, fuck, this is right wing news. And when you watch CBC, you're like, Jesus, more left wing news. And I watch NTV, and I don't think left or right. I don't think they give a fuck what you think. They don't care.
It's wicked.
Like, we don't give a fuck what you think, which is why we haven't upgraded we haven't upgraded the backdrop in 30 years because we don't give a fuck what you think. We truly don't give a fuck what you think. Yeah, what we give a fuck is you know what's going on. We want you to know what the fuck is going on. And what's going on is there's a fucking chase to aces going on in around the bay.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah,
And
it haven't gone
fucking
in
we
three.
might have
It
knowledge.
haven't gone in 2 months now, boys. We're at the top
Fucking
top limit
pothole,
here now, boys.
potholes are
Right.
fucking
And they
deep on
got-
Kenmount
and-
Road again the year. Like shit like that, right? It's
Right,
wicked.
and they got no horse in the race, nor should they, because they're the fucking news.
That's the point of it,
right?
really, right?
They're there to be a conduit, to relay
But
to
it's
you
a-
what's going on.
It's a
That's
community,
what they're
right?
supposed to be. Yes, and here's this. That's what's supposed to be the news.
That's what's
And
supposed to
they're
be.
the only ones that are fucking doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not separating
nobody else doing
everyone. It's creating a
No.
community. It's telling everyone what's going on.
Yes,
It's
they're
they're
bringing
exactly.
everyone together, like know what's going on, and they're not fucking butting their opinions in us.
That's right.
And having a fucking and then having a segment where you have people on with their opinions.
No.
And, all
And his
this other
opinions,
stuff,
because
right?
never nobody knows any fucking better than I do about the fucking situation, man. It's always some person's like social media influencer Ricky Marley, aka K06, and you're like, what the fuck is this guy saying? And he's going off on some nonsense that you've never even heard of before. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it's craziness. NTV is super non-biased. I'd be the first one to say that. They just tell you what
They're
the
the
news
most-
is. They're
they're
just
the
like, this is the
most-
news.
they're the-
Deal with it.
they're the most professional out of everyone.
Yeah, it's true enough, man. I
And-
agree.
And it's again to do the community stuff, but then they get into the national news, then it gets into the international
will, yeah,
news.
yeah.
They'll touch on that, right? They'll let you know what's going on in sports. They'll have a few. They do a
They do a
little
sports
Toronto
segment.
Montreal
Yeah.
band.
Nice little
So
sport.
they'll have the fucking highlights, let you know what fucking happened between Toronto and Montreal,
And little places
They
to
got
go
that.
with Sharon Snow.
right? Yeah, support the local stuff. Backstage pass, right? I've been on that myself. You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah.
Yes, man. Like you fucking would.
Right? You got to go to the
Jesus
local
Christ.
restaurant and showcase a little local restaurant or local craft place, or you know what I mean. That's
Yeah, I
that's
like
the
that.
beauty of
That's what it's
that's the
supposed
place
to be,
that
though. That's what it's supposed to be about.
gives you a
man.
little warm feeling when you watches that,
Oh,
especially
man,
over here in
it's-
Grand Prairie. You'll get a little warm feeling when Sharon
I
Snow is
loves
going
when I
around.
knows. I love
Oh,
when
yeah.
I knows what they're saying. Right? They says a town or they says a street
That's
name. I'm
right.
like, I knows where that is.
That's right.
Oh yeah.
It's the best, man.
Oh
It's the
yeah.
best. It's the absolute best news, man. And then they got the fucking best banger of a theme song in the history of news, right?
They do. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you know what's coming in hot with the diddly doo.
Pure fucking panic, right?
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man.
Oh, yeah.
Tony Marie coming in hot with a fucking fresh story.
Oh, savage.
Oh
man.
baby.
Michael Connors. Tonight on NTV News. Fishermen, second protest outside the
Oh, the
Confederation
fishermen's
building.
protest, baby.
And it's like, and up that's right, and you're like, okay, that's a top news story. Also, fucking,
And after the break.
do you want, right? A mad car chase in Corner Brook on Saturday night. And after that, we'll have Eddie Shear and Tim Hortons for Tim Hortons Smile Cookie Days. All this hour
Oh yes.
Yeah.
on the MTV
And I'm in.
Evening News.
God, man, right? It's savage, man. It's savage. Like,
And
it's
it's just
good for
like
them,
this
man.
is on.
But NTV
Warms
as
the
a,
heart.
even NTV as a station, man,
Warms
is
the
off
heart.
the handle. Think about when you were a youngster, man. You wake up at 3 o'clock or whatever in the
Be a
fucking
music
morning,
video.
and it'd be fucking Captain Canada and fucking
Oh, yeah.
whatever crazy fucking nonsense going ballistic, loud as THX fucking coming on your fucking TV.
Oh yeah,
Melt your
then that
eardrums.
cuts off, and all of a sudden they're showing you a music video of fucking Billy Idol
Oh,
singing
dude.
"Oh Yeah," right?
I remember being that's the thing. I remember being hungover and just listening to like,
Fucking
why is there music
madness,
videos on
man.
blast?
Holy fuck. Yes, man, you wake up like, what the fuck century am I in here? What the hell?
Fucking Ricky Martin or Pitbull's on the fucking thing. Like, come on.
Craziness, man. The fucking
I wrote the
is
status,
wild,
and
man.
I meant every word of it. I wrote a status there a few weeks ago. I was in Bangkok. I was on
Oh,
a
fuck.
boat in Bangkok when I wrote the status. I was taking the ferry, this taxi boat, the comedy club. And I wrote it and I meant it. I said, Buzz, we got to do everything in our power to preserve NTV and K-Rock. We got to do it.
K-Rock as well, yeah, I agree with that as well, man.
Absolutely.
That's one thing I miss
Yeah,
is, man,
we
up
got
here.
to-
I don't really listen to it as much anymore since I'm up here.
Turn the radio on K-Rock.
You gotta get.
Tune into it on the web and fucking walk away from it before you goes out. Like, just turn the fucking thing on. Like, just get it on.
Yeah.
We got to keep it alive. Like NTV, people before you leave the house, turn it on NTV for a cat, turn it on for the dog,
Just
and
leave it
go
there.
out. Let those numbers stay high. Because they can't die. They got
Oh
because
no.
because
No,
it's
it's
I don't
never.
think
man.
Newfies would ever let it.
It's never coming back if it ever leaves.
Yeah,
No.
it's
It's
true.
got
That's true.
and it's too original and it's too precious and it's too much of like a staple and like what makes us different than every other province. Like there's no other province
No.
that got NTV.
No one has.
No,
They got-
man.
they-
Nobody
they-
does stations
They
like
used
that.
to. Nova Scotia used to have ATV
They sure
years
did,
ago. Do you remember ATV?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
And then there was
That was their NTV.
there was ASN.
That was
Was out
their
of Halifax as well too? Yeah. ASN.
Not ATV, ASN. That's what I
ASN,
meant to
yeah.
say.
Oh,
ASN.
ASN, yeah.
ASN. And ASN, and that was like their NTV.
Yeah, man, because they had breakfast
And then I think-
television.
Oh, nice.
Yes, and then like I think CTV, if I'm not mistaken, CTV bought it, and then
Yeah.
it just became like, and then they got like a CTV Halifax,
Yes, I believe so. Yeah, I
Right?
believe so. Yeah.
and right, and then there's no more ASN, and you know damn well CTV is trying to buy NTV, but they
Oh,
wouldn't
you
sell it.
know they went to the buyers.
But there's an affiliation because that they'll do it, right? That's why they'll channel through on the back half of the news when it gets to the last half hour, the last 15 minutes of the half hour, when they show you the international news and what's going on over in Israel or whatever, they just patch through a CTV news feed,
Yes.
right?
Oh, yeah,
And when
that's
they, and
right.
when
Yeah.
and when they're showing you the hockey highlights, they're patching through the TSN feed because TSN and CTV are the same,
Company.
Yeah, it's all
Company.
under Bell Media now.
right? It's all right, exactly. So they have like a contractual agreement because they decided not to sell, but they said you can have it like but we can work together. So that's what happened from what I can just see, right? And they won't sell it, but it's like, maybe one day they'll be like, you know what, this is getting exhausting running this, and say, fuck it, we can sell this for a fortune, and they'll just sell it, and it's gone.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
Right?
that'll be it. That'll be it. Toast.
It's like the Herald too,
That'd be
right?
fun.
Yeah, the Herald's another one too. Like I said, I used to deliver the Herald, man.
But
That's
that's
a
gone.
fucking thing.
Right.
Is it
and
gone
it's
now?
gone and can
Yeah,
never
it's
come
gone.
back. Like I
No,
don't
nobody's
think
ever
it's
going to do
back.
that again, right?
No.
No. And I get it. And the Telegram's gone.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, Telegram's gone. Yeah.
What's going on
That's
there
the
now?
thing about physical media.
Right.
Like we're gonna really miss that when when it's totally gone. It's gone forever, and we're not gonna be able to have it. And
And that's why I was right. And like you see, like Herald's gone, and which is a part of NTV, right? That's a big part of
Yeah.
it. That's dead. That's gone. and now with Telegram, that's gone. And it's like you can see where the trend is going, and that's what's like, boys, we can't lose. Jesus Christ, man! I can't be turned into CBC. I need NTV.
Yeah, it's true though, man. It's true
And,
enough.
and K-Rock, you need local radio, man. It's so fucking important.
Yeah.
And
I'm on board.
K-Rock
Oh
is-
yeah, I'm on
they-
totally
I'm
on
on
with
They
that.
get the
too.
best morning show. Mike Campbell's a fucking genius. He just is. Right?
Yeah.
He runs his tight show. He knows exactly how to fucking wind up Candace and how to get J-Lac to go off. And he's smart. And he knows his stuff. And he's funny. And they all gel well together. And then they got the best music. They're the only fucking station that plays good music and local they'll get some local rock artists on and stuff whenever it's in, and it's like we need that. That got to stay.
Yeah, there's got to be stuff
Gotta
like
say.
that. You got to have somewhere where the homegrown stuff gets some airtime, right? Like that's the thing. Like you
Yeah.
got to have a place to promote your stuff. Because I'll be the first one to say, like I get in my truck, I don't fucking like I generally don't play my own music. I just turn on the radio. Like I turn on the local K-Rock station and listen to it.
Yeah, so that's something that I've really last for years. Why I've been so bad with just go right to Spotify and the speakers, but now the last year, man, I'm like I say, I just throws K-Rock on 80-90% of the time now. I don't even because I'm like, no, I'm listening to this because I want to hear, especially even just traffic updates and shit. Like I want to hear.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't want to hear what the
Sometimes it's nice to hear like a local voice. You know what I mean? Like it's nice to hear relevant.
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever you want to say, relevant stuff. You know what I mean? Things that are funny because you live in the city and this and that, whatever. Right? Like There's a bit more to it than just the music or whatever, you know what I mean? Like Oz FM back in the day used to be like that. Like when Oz FM was fucking on the go, like back in the 90s, like that used to be the sickest fucking radio station. Like, and then it turned into a pop, whatever, turned into something else, whatever. But the old one, but remember they do Casey Kasem on the fucking Saturday mornings? Casey Kasem.
Top 40, yeah.
Ooh.
These are 2 top 40s, right? Because they had the Casey top 40, and then they had the American top 40.
Yeah, that's true enough too. Yeah.
You remember?
What a voice.
You used to have like I think these have Casey Kasem on from like 8 a.m. to noon, and then from like noon to 4 was American top 40.
Yeah, 100%.
2 different top 40s.
Yeah, because we used to listen to it on the way back from hockey in the mornings. Like be back 10:30 in the morning. Be listening to it in the morning.
Absolutely. Fucking loved it.
Just talking about there, he's saying, "Did you say you went for a jog?" Yeah. Man, I was wondering what you did, and you're slamming the door, right? and I was like, "What the fuck?" I was like, "Am I for a jog?" I was being pissed because I went over to your bedroom. I was like, "See, pissed off over me." I was just.
Is that Paul over there?
That's Paul.
Hey, tell him what he had.
Say what?
Yeah, they said what he had.
Oh, this is it, man.
Yeah!
This is it!
Yeah!
This is it! But he hit the knee!
So we were talking earlier on the
Wicked.
podcast
Love it.
about how there's just like when you're up in Alberta and you're someone that maybe you suspect he's a Newfoundlander, maybe the way he's dressed, or maybe you overheard him the way he said something.
Yeah.
And you think, fuck, I think he's from Newfoundland.
That's what you test.
And so you just say, what are you at? Right?
Yeah.
And it's like, and then when they reply, this is it, it's like, oh my god, like a tear wants to come down your eyes, and this and that.
Little tear,
being on the mainland.
Little saltwater tear comes down her face.
And I was like 3, and I was like fucking 2. Yeah, so was it salt? We say saltwater.
Little saltwater tear come down his
I can
cheek.
feel it on my cheek, man. I can feel
and then it's like 2 hours later, like, ask him what is he at? Is he what he at? He goes, this is it. And they're like,
Wicked.
Oh,
that was
deadly.
deadly, man. Fuck yeah. That's it. That's the juice right there, man. Just inject that right into my veins, man.
Well, listen, man. He's from Toronto. We'll say he's from Toronto because he's from. He has to live in several different places, but the last place he was living in Toronto, lived there for most of his life, I guess. Anyways, but he ended up coming down last summer. He's only supposed to be here for a couple of weeks. He ended up staying for a couple of months, 2 or 3 months, and then he went back to Toronto. And when did you go back, Paul? When did you go back to Toronto last year? Was it August or September? August. We went back in August.
Yeah.
And anyway, so then he ended up coming back down here in January, right?
Yeah.
1st of January. And he moved here.
Oh yeah.
He's living here. He's living here in my spot now.
Nice.
And
Nice.
and he just like he's fully embracing the whole Newfoundland culture, sayings, ways. He really loves it. And he finds it charming. And this fucking fucker, let me tell you, he watches the NTV news more than anyone.
Wicked. Good for him, man. Gotten fucking fully converted. Full conversion.
Me, him, and Maggie sits down every day, and the 3 of us watches the news together. And we have some commentary on it, and we talks about the stories and and who we likes, and talks about maybe trying to wonder what's going on in Tony Marie's head when Michael Connor's speaking and stuff. But we got our own little.
Oh man.
Yes, sir. Yeah, buddy.
And when they slip in the nice little birthday greeting too of Larry Bird or someone like that.
The Larry thing got out of control, man. It was fucking crazy.
Or Dog the Bounty Hunter, right? Here's Carl from old Upper Island Clover.
Dude, you get the Canadian Heritage moment when there's a Newfoundland Heritage moment, man. When they run on Axl Rose and
oh my God,
fucking
Mickey Rourke.
Mickey Rourke.
When they put Axl Rose and Mickey Rourke on, it's a happy birthday or happy anniversary to it was like whatever the fucking names were that they used.
Oh my God.
Like that is one of the funniest moments in Newfoundland history, as far as I'm concerned.
Oh,
That's right up there.
That's
one
what
of
I
the
mean.
funniest things I've ever seen in my life.
Oh
man.
man, the
good.
fucking whoever did all that is off their
Barrington?
head.
How did that get through? How did that
Yeah,
get through?
we know who did it actually.
Oh,
And
Well,
what
good.
an
Inside job, deep
incredible,
cut.
Oh, fuck.
genius job. Yeah, he used to do some open mic comedy actually.
Oh,
Good for him,
okay.
man.
And,
Fucking, that's like a Scotland meme. You know what I mean? Like you put out a fucking deadly. That's a deadly meme, technically, right? The screenshot of that now is a meme. You know what I mean?
It's perfect, Mike, because it looks real too. I mean,
Oh,
it does.
true.
Man,
does.
it's
It looks a
savage.
bit like an old man and an old woman.
Yes.
Yes, man. It looks like
Right?
fucking. It looks like fucking Gussie's fucking mother and father from down the road or whatever, right? Like two hard-looking fellers or a couple hard-looking bunch, right?
Yeah.
Rode hard, put away wet type situation or something,
Yes.
right?
Oh,
But it's funny, man.
Yeah.
Some of the shit that they go, oh yeah, like I died at that, man. When I kept seeing all these fucking crazy ones pop up, like that week that everybody got right on it, right? It's like, holy
There were a few
fucking
there in a
Christ,
short-
There was three or
short
four of
amount
them
of
right in a
time.
row. I fucking died, man. And then of course, like Cape Shore memes or whoever gets a hold of that now, that's gone right out the fucking head at home, right?
Yeah.
Because it's funny from here, like you see it all going on at home, right? And then all of a sudden you see fucking crazy shit like that going nuts, right? Like on fucking Instagram or on whatever fucking Facebook page or whatever, right? It's like, this is off the handle, man. This is nuts, right? It's fucking wicked.
Funniest
Man.
ever, man.
Oh, it's the best,
Nothing
man.
funnier.
There's very few things, man.
Nothing
I'm
funnier.
not gonna lie. It's fucking wicked. Fucking NTV is the greatest thing, probably one of the greatest things ever invented. I'm not gonna lie.
I know, and I think it's important because, like, the thing is that obviously it's an older demographic that watches it, right? But like, I say this sincerely. I know we're having a laugh and stuff like that, but like, I really, if there's something that I can do in a good way, for like, on a serious level,
Yes,
you
man.
plan on kidding me. Like, I want to ignite the younger population to start watching NTV news.
Man,
and I'm not
if you don't
even
watch it for
joking.
nothing else, just watch it for Eddie Shear.
Yes.
Just turn, yeah,
Just watch it for
fucking
Eddie, man.
Turn it on.
Just turn it on, watch it for
Don't
Eddie.
even-
boy.
Good.
At the very least, watch it for Eddie. Watch it just to see the top news story. Like, watch it. Turn it the fucking thing on and go into the other room to do whatever it is that you need to do. Just turn it on because it's
No.
It's I can't stress.
It's
the
everything you
importance of
need. Like
Here's
turn
the thing.
turn it on
Here's the
because
thing.
we need to keep it
Listen,
alive. Turn it on because we
We
need
got
to
to
we need
keep it
to
alive.
know what's going on locally in our towns. We need to know what the restaurants we need to go see. We need to know what the weather is like in our local communities. You know, we need to keep it all together here.
And what we need a sense of journalism in this province that's gonna like let us know what the fuck's going on. Because CBC is not doing it.
Well,
They're just not-
CBC
it's
is
a
not,
half-
man. It's
it's
a
a
government-funded
half-hour-
thing. It's just not going to.
It's a half hour and they don't give a fuck.
But how
They're
much
just
can you
gonna feed you
how
the
much can you
shit.
do anything in a half an hour, technically speaking? You know what I mean? Like when it comes to news, right? Like you can only hit the fucking points, right? Like the bullet points, and then move on, because you don't have time
Oh.
to fucking even explain what you're even talking about. And if you fully fucking explain what
No.
you're talking about, it wouldn't sound, you know what I mean? You sound either foolish or it would make sense and people would be behind it. And that's the problem.
Yeah.
Like, they don't want that necessarily.
They're
I
not.
don't feel right.
Yeah, they just get on there and they just tell you like the worst shit and here's the weather and good night. And it's
Really?
like it can't be just that. Just
No.
got to be a local element to it. There
Yeah.
got to be, and this place is too original and too precious to lose it.
Yeah. To me, it's
Because
like it's a
the thing
cultural
is, dude,
fixture, right?
Newfoundland is the funniest, most original place there is, man. Like when I was living in Edmonton, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. But it was horrible for my comedy. It was great for my mic time, and it was good for like working on getting in front of new crowds and how to perform for crowds. It was horrible for my creativity, for my writing. I didn't. It's the driest spell I've ever had in my career.
Oh yeah.
I never wrote one new joke back in a year. I didn't write one, and I was like, I said, I didn't write a new joke. I couldn't. I was waking up every day, right? There's a fucking blue sky, sun's out, right? There's no wind, everything's flat. Walk around easy, cheap gas, good produce, good gas. I'm walking here, all these restaurants, low taxes, lots of employment going around, nice cars, all this other stuff. I'm like, sure, what the fuck is there a joke about? And laugh at you. There's no misery here. I can be
There's
miserable.
nothing to be going on
Right?
with. Yeah.
I'm
What are we
like, this
joking
place is
about?
awesome. I'm like world-class talent coming into the Rogers Centre where it's the hockey team in Edmonton Oilers and all the fucking draft picks they've had, or if it's, like Shania. When I was there, like, man, I got in there in September. From September to October, there was Shania Twain, Kevin Hart, Stone Temple Pilots, Royal Blood, Jay-Z. Jay-Z was in Edmonton, man. Right? The Weekend, and this was all in a 4-month span.
Yeah, that's savage.
Right? So it was like, right? And it was like, I'm like, this place is fucking awesome.
Yeah. What else do you want?
World class talent coming in, no taxes, flat ground, no wind, no fucking. I'm just like, this is what.
Making decent money. What the fuck is wrong with everybody?
Yeah.
And I'm like, what am I supposed to joke about? I feel like a cocksucker even making fun of anything. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, dude. I know what you're saying. But, there has to be some kind of resistance to it all, right? Like there's got to be some kind of resistance to it all.
Yeah, and it's just like Newfoundland is just like, no, it's not. It's Newfoundland is so unhinged and so ridiculous. It's so original and yet so pure and innocent and sweet while being so twisted and all at the same time. And it's just like, you need a special source that's going to tap into that and deliver to us.
Yeah.
Right? And we got it.
Yeah.
And you got to tune in. You got to watch it. Even just to do it for your, like, why wouldn't you? It's educational. You know what the fuck's going on, and it's hilarious. It's going to be funny because the people he interviews. Oh, was did you ever see it when he interviewed the building over the dead shark in Bay Roberts area? There was a dead shark.
I may have, probably.
I might have
but it was either way.
One side removed and its jawbone cut out. Jim Richards of Shearstown, who was in the area last night taking pictures, said it's a shame what happened to the creature.
Like I said last night, 7 o'clock, he was around the 12 o'clock last night. He was ready to go and best kind. The cord, the one I come back cord, the one last night, he was up on the beach with the side cut out of him, the gut and everything cut out of him.
The gut and everything cut out of him.
He's roughly about 8 to 6 feet long.
What do you think done it?
What done it?
Yeah.
Well, you know what done, I suppose a couple of fellas done it. Went in the freezer for a steak. Yeah, I was talking to the RSC this morning. Nobody ever told me. I talked to the DFO there last night, and all the miners did anybody throw rocks at it. But where's the all last night when all this was going on?
Apparently no one seems to know what actually did happen to the shark and why it
not a
beached
soul
itself
knows
near
what
the
happened
Kosh,
there.
an open body of water at the end of the harbour. Residents feel that Fisheries and Oceans should have done something last night that might have saved the animal. Dion Butler, another resident of the area, was very upset over what was done to the shark, which was estimated to be about 7 feet long and weighing 700.
Pause, and then the next missus that comes on, right? After that.
Where's the missus
Same
too? She's up
interview.
here, right? Oh yeah. I think it's right here somewhere.
The matter is now the responsibility of the town of Bay Roberts. Karen Richards, who lives in the area, said there should have been a better solution to the problem other than what resulted.
I think it's a sin. It is really a sin. I think last night if DFO and the wardens that were here last night had done something and tried to get that shark out, the shark probably would still be alive. If it was sick, well, they could have dragged it out further. Instead of maybe having it suffer and have its side cut off like that. I don't blame the people as such that's around here, because, I mean, they had children here watching this, and they, you know, everybody was excited to see a shark. I honestly do blame the RCMP and the wardens that were here. They came here, they looked, they stood up with their arms folded, and left.
Off-camera enforcement officer for the town of Bay Roberts, Barry Bowring, said
Oh,
Fisheries and Oceans.
Haul them up.
By his house.
Hold on, keep going. Trust me.
Oh, there's
have
a.
agreed in assisting with the disposal of the dead carcass. In Bay Roberts, I'm Ed Swain for NTV News.
Okay, no, yeah. But boss, that's like, that's gold, right? That's pure
That's
gold.
fucking gold, man. It's fucking the best. Like,
And sometimes that's going to
Oh
be
my
your
God.
top story,
that's so
or at
funny,
least
man.
your like second story.
Well, that was yeah. But boys, like, that's why Newfoundland is so perfect. Fucking fact.
That's the best
Like,
thing, man.
that guy, like, you know, they interviewed, you know, several people about it, different camera angles, and like, right. But what's also so funny is it tell you how good you got it when that's what you're upset about.
Yes,
Right?
man. That's the
Like,
worst thing that ever
like-
happened in your day.
What do you think happened to it?
And then Mrs.
Boys got at
is a
it.
complete know, and Mrs. is a complete know-it-all too, right? And she knows.
Guaranteed, man.
Well, Dave, if it was this, they could have done that with us.
It'd still be alive. It'd still be alive.
Should have hauled a bit further.
Deeper water is the cure to a sickness. Like what? Doesn't make sense.
All that means you just don't get to look at it. Like that's all that means. You don't get to see it die or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like that he asked him like, so what do you think happened to it? Well, he knows what happened to it. Two fellows got at it.
He said, "What do you? What done it?
Yeah.
What do you think done it? What done it? I suppose you know what done it. A couple of fellas, what done it?"
And then a couple fellas throwing rocks at it.
But when he looks back at the reporter and says, "What done it?"
Yeah, like oh,
You know what done it.
Fellas, what done it?
Dead
Fucking
Dead serious, yeah.
like dead fucking pan serious, man. Like holy
Oh,
fucking
and like-
Christ.
And it's just like, Buzz, there was a shark that was dying and decided to come in the shore so his body wouldn't go to waste and humans could get a bit of a feed out
A
of
couple
him.
steaks.
And people are upset.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Shark was doing everybody a favor.
Yeah. Yes. Got rid of it, disposed the body real quick.
Yeah, it's fine. Fucking boy's got a few steaks out of it, bye.
We can't be eating perfectly good shark here, right? We need DFO to be coming hauling out the water.
Yeah, right? Like,
Knows a
come
few
on.
guys who make that disappear real quick.
Jesus Christ, right? Come on.
Like you would. That's a news story that you would never see in Asia. Let me tell you that.
No,
Right?
my son. No, bye. No, bye. No, people
Right?
doing that every
They'd be
fucking second of the day.
They'd be celebrating that.
Yeah.
Here, disgusting.
Fuck that dirty old fish. How dare you touch that, right? Like, come on, right? Use your fucking head.
Oh,
It's fucking
dude,
hilarious.
that's one of my favorite ever.
Like,
Right.
yeah, they look a lot.
Awesome.
Everything looks a lot sharper.
So I just want to show off my shirt.
Hey, Novax, shout out.
Any other
The boys.
hey, any other shout outs, sponsors you wanna give a little plug to? Let's give them some love here on the ATYW85.
Shout them all out. Shout them all out.
ATY85, I love that. Yeah, well, big shout out to actually my brother for sponsoring the tour, the Hollett Group.
Thanks, yeah.
You know, that's awesome.
Absolutely.
Best real estate agent in St. John's, hit him up.
Nice.
That's right.
There you go.
If you
Hit them
need
up.
to-
Get at them. Get at them.
You need to get insured, boys.
Yeah. Crocodile's Creations is sponsored the tour this year and they do like a lot of funny shirts and different funny creations for different things and stuff. They're on Jungle Gyms, of course. They've been on since year one. Boz are always backing us up. They're deadly.
Oh yes.
And just a special shout out and thank you for Oceanic for always being wicked, right?
Yes.
And he hooks us up with road weed and
Keeping the
everything.
boys-
Boz are deadly.
Keeping the boys medicated. Keeping the
the-
boys medicated.
Keeping the mood lifted up. Lifted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keeping it
Yeah,
lifted.
they got some great stores, great locations, and great different strains and brands of weed and wicked merch. I'm not even lying, man. I wear a hoodie all the time, and it's
Great.
It's literally my favorite. It's the most comfortable hoodie. It's inside of it. It just fits so well and everything. It's like they got great merch.
Got that good
So,
fuzzy. Got that good fuzzy feeling.
Yeah, the Fogtown
Just a fuzzy
shirt
word.
you got on. I got a Fogtown hoodie that.
Fogtown. Shout out Fogtown.
Love it.
Yeah, and it was given to me for Christmas and it wouldn't fit. Anyways, I've been really working on things. Anyway, so I tried it on last week and fits right nice. And I'm wearing it the last week. And
Yes,
yeah, so
Now
trying
fits
to get
best
all that
kind.
fucking
Fits best
trying to
kind.
get all
Huh?
that, yeah, trying to get all that fucking depressed weight off now. Get back to shape right now.
That's all right. It's all good times now,
Yeah.
man. Fucking tour starting up soon. It's gonna be a good time.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I can't wait. So yeah, we hit Bonavista June 1st and Harbour Grace and Dildo and CBS and kicking all around the island. Then we get to
Pop it up. I'm gonna pop it up on the
Ontario.
screen now. It's ready big out front now. Everybody can see the tour dates now.
That's right.
Yeah, so we're doing all Newfoundland June, July, and August. And then we do Ontario, Nova Scotia in September, and Labrador all through September. And in October, first week of October, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, we're doing Majestic in St. John's, and then we head out to Alberta on October 10th in Calgary. We're in Grand Prairie on a Saturday. this year. I don't think we've ever done a Saturday.
That's gonna be deadly. We'll be
So
there,
it's
my
awesome.
son.
Oh,
Fucking
God.
3 bells on.
Yeah, 'cause
Let's go.
We've done,
I can't
we've
wait.
done Sundays. We've done Tuesdays. I don't know if we've ever done.
You're gonna get a good crowd from that, my son. I'm telling you now.
I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it.
Definitely not since the pandemic, so we're really excited to get there on a Saturday this year, and yeah, that's wicked. And then we'll do the rest of Alberta, and we hit Yellowknife and BC, and then Yellowknife, and she's over for another year.
Yeah, shout out Fort Mac too.
Well-
October 23rd. Shout out Fort Mac and those the boys up
Yeah.
there. Shout them out.
This is for the boys up
Yeah.
in Fort McFlurry.
Yes, sir.
Yes, please. And thinking well of everybody right now with forest fires and shit. We know how fucking terrifying that is,
Yes.
especially if it was
Yeah,
affected
buddy.
by it before. The thought that it could happen again in so many years is insane, and we understand that. And we understand if you want to hold off on tickets because you don't know if you're gonna have a home, but hopefully you do have a home and you come out and have a laugh and all that good shit.
Yes,
you know?
Yes, man. No, we'll
Yeah.
like I say, we'll be definitely there. We'll be definitely there to see that, check that out, and everything else.
Yes,
Yeah.
man, come out and like freely say you guys were there. For those out the Law Theater, man, it's a wicked little kill box for comedy because it's so enclosed in the way the walls are, like just the dimensions of it, like the laughter, like it gets loud in there, man. Like it's and there's a nice little bar and like area stuff
Yep.
in the back. And
It is-
stuff, and
it
it's
is a
like-
nice
it's
little-
It's a beautiful venue, man. So if you're in Grand Prairie, pop out to a show. We'd love to have you. And here's the thing too, I'm always been trying to get a second show on the go, but the boss don't want to ever add a second show like, unless it sells out well in advance.
Sure enough, yeah.
So sooner you buy tickets and help sell it out, the better chance.
The quicker you'll get a second
one.
show.
Yeah, and get a second
right,
show, and also like just helps put some life into town and make it a bigger priority. Come
Right.
back in following years and all that other stuff. So it does help us be pre-buy the tickets, everybody. So we'd really appreciate that. Also understand if you can for work reasons or money reasons or whatever. But yeah, that always really helps us out too. So
Yeah, buddy.
just throwing it out there.
Yeah, man. Everybody get out. Everybody come out and see the boys. Best Con Comedy Tour starting up in June. Check that out. Check out the podcast.
Tell me more, baby.
Tell me more, baby.
Tell me more.
YouTube.
Yeah, I'm gonna get it up on Spotify.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking
YouTube
yeah.
is where it's at now.
Yeah. That's Deadly Doe. Fucking check that out on YouTube. Fucking Deadly Old Podcast. Sitting down, shooting shit. Fucking right on. It's deadly.
Shit.
Can't thank you enough,
Every
Colin.
year.
I'm going to say right now, appreciate your time, spending time with us here tonight, shooting the shit and fucking having a few
Oh, good.
laughs. And I'm looking forward to your tour here coming up this summer. And
Yeah, man. Looking forward to seeing
Thank you so much.
Seeing you coming up here now in October. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, well, I really appreciate it, man. Looking forward to seeing you guys too, and have a laugh maybe after the show, get it for a beer or something.
Yes, girl.
Yes.
No sweat. All right, everybody.
Thanks for having me on. Thanks for the laughs.
Yeah, man. All right, everybody. It's been another episode of, and the year was 1985.
Eagle are planted.